If you ask anybody what's the worst game of all time, Sonic games in particular, a lot of people will tell you Sonic 06. This game's infamy is very well known. Pretty much everyone under the sun has reviewed this game, giving it a negative review, saying, yeah, it's one of the worst. However, when I was playing this game for my Sonic retrospective, the second time I ever completed the game, by the way, I gotta say that I don't actually get it. Now, don't get me wrong, Sonic 06 is a very, very, very flawed game. But writing off this whole entire game as just a massive failure and everything is wrong with it is something that, from my recent playthrough, I just don't get it. Even my favorite Sonic reviewer as a kid made a whole retrospective of why Sonic 06 sucks instead of doing an actual Let's Play like the other games he played. I'm not sure you know what I'm talking about, but if you do know, then you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, it's such a hated game that I'm shocked. The two times I actually played it all the way through, I enjoyed myself both times. There are tons of flaws in this game, don't get me wrong, but so is there with a bunch of other Sonic games. In fact, I had a worse experience playing Sonic Heroes, and that's a game I grew up with. One thing I want to get out of the way first off is that I do not have any nostalgia for Sonic 06. I know some people are going to say, the only reason you like this game because you have nostalgia for it. I do not. The only nostalgia I have for this game is the fact that everyone shat on it. All I saw my whole life as a child saying this game's terrible, and you know what? I agree with them. When I was a teenager, I got the game. I was like, oh, I'll see if it's bad. I played for a little bit. Yeah, it's bad. Then I decided, okay, I'm actually going to try to play this all the way through. I am a Sonic fan after all. And doing that, I just received a game that really isn't that bad, and I still don't get it. In all honesty, I think it's more of a bandwagon. People say this game's not good, well, I'll jump on it, and more people kept saying it, they kept joining in. And the obvious problems start off from the very beginning. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk about why this game is infamous. And the best way to do that is start with the beginning, which is how the game was made. Sega wanted a soft reboot for the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise for the next generations of the consoles, that being the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and of course the Nintendo Wii, which we'll get to a little later. The idea was to take the ideas that worked with Sonic Adventure and kind of ditch some of the ideas from Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Heroes, which makes sense, you know. Well, those Adventure games were the best ones, and Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog had some obvious problems that I talked about in my video. The new hook of this game was, what if Sonic was in the real world? And yeah, I'll be honest, starting off the bat, that is like kind of a stupid concept. Making Sonic realistic, I mean, I don't mind the character models for the characters, but having realistic humans next to them is just a strange design, and although the levels don't look bad, just the idea of the realistic humans along with Sonic characters is kind of dumb, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And just to get this out of the way, I don't like the realistic humans in Super Mario Odyssey either. I know it's in one level only, but it's even weirder in this game since Mario is a human interacting with realistic humans. Like, New Donk City is a fun stage, but the realistic humans just don't work here, even worse than in Sonic, but I digress. A demo was made for the Tokyo Game Show in 2005, showing a tech demo of what Sonic 06 will look like. And yeah, the game decided that since it's going to be a soft reboot, that they're going to call it Sonic the Hedgehog. A really terrible name, but even good games like God of War have also fallen into that trap where it's a reboot, but they call it God of War. I'm like, why would you do that? Just call it God of War 4. Anyway, it's a stupid name and no one calls it that. They just call it Sonic 06. But the tech demo was pretty cool. However, the game faced immediate problems from the beginning. Series creator and producer and future criminal Yuji Naka, future criminal, had left the project during the beginning of it, basically leaving the Sonic team to scramble to find a new person to be head charge of it. And to make matters worse, Nintendo's new console was completely different from the 360 and PS3. It was non-HD and it used motion controls. So Sonic 06 could not be an easy transfer onto the Wii console, even though they did one on the console. However, Sega thought something different. You see, the motion controls were revolutionary at the time, and they thought, what if we made a Sonic game with motion controls? So what did? They split up Sonic Team! One team will work on a Wii game, which would end up being Sonic and the Secret Rings, the other one will work on Sonic 06. Now, this wouldn't be too bad if there wasn't the fact that they were under a tight schedule. They had less than a year to make Sonic 06. They only just made a tech demo, so everything was terrible. The boss left, and the team was entirely split up, and they're trying to make one of the most ambitious games of all time. Because Sega didn't want to make a little dinky game for their 15th anniversary, which was Sonic 06 was released on. They wanted to take the whole 9 yards. They wanted new characters, a bunch of playable characters, a whole hub world, and all this other stuff. So, because of that, the game was crunched to hell. So on paper, other than in the real world element, Sonic 06 looked like it was going to be a good game. However, they had to skip entirely the quality assurance part of the game. because they had to make the Christmas deadline, meaning that the game is full of bugs and glitches. Sonic's momentum is kind of busted. Even in the first level, if you try to experiment a little bit, you'll find that the gameplay just doesn't work, especially on slopes where Sonic just does not fall down. He just kind of clings to it, which, it's not very good, let's be honest. So that was the disastrous development of Sonic 06. However, the team did have a little bit of stuff going on. The game was based on the Adventure engine, which is a good idea since the Adventure games are great. But did they end up making anything that's actually good in here, or is it just true that everything about this game is shit? Well, let's find out. In Sonic 06, you play as 3 character storylines. The first being Sonic, the other being Shadow. After all, he was still an incredibly popular character, so it made sense of him to be a main character. And a brand new character, Silver the Hedgehog. There's actually quite a lot of development history behind the character of Silver the Hedgehog. When developing the new Havoc engine, they wanted to make a telekinesis games that ended up failing, meaning they never came to fruition. However, taking the concept of a character that can use telekinetic powers, decided to put it into a new Sonic game with a new character. That character would be known as Venice the Mink. Yeah, Venice the Mink. That's Silver's original name. He had at least 50 different concept arts trying to make a character that would fit in the Sonic world that also had telekinetic powers, until finally they came up with Silver the Hedgehog. But they named him after his silver quills rather than the city of Venice, Italy, which is what the city Zuliana is based off, in case you're wondering. And for some reason they thought that a mink wouldn't fit into the rest of the cast. I don't know what that means. It's an animal. Like, why would it not fit in, Sega? Can you elaborate on that? Anyway, yeah, he's a hedgehog, and his name is Silver. And, yeah, he was also based off a Dragon Ball character. Sonic has been based off some Dragon Ball stuff for a while, but this one just flat out they based off the character Trunks from Dragon Ball. It's pretty obvious in the storyline. But yeah, that's Silver's history, and he's a pretty cool character. And unlike a lot of other things for Sonic 06, he's the only one that really stuck around and stayed a mainstay, even though his story and backstory is kind of hard to implement with the rest of the cast, since he's always from the future. But we'll talk about that when we get to other future games. For now, we're talking about Sonic 06. Silver is voiced by Pete Capella, who I think does a really good job at bringing his naivete, but also his determination. He's definitely my favorite Silver voice actor, and that's usually because I prefer the original voice for the characters, but that's just me.
In the near future, his actions will cause the devastation of my world!
Speaking of which, all the other previous cast members do a pretty good job to decent job. I would say the best returning cast member is definitely Jason Griffith's Shadow, who this is definitely his best performance as the character, and it's definitely the highlight of the game, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Another new character in this game is pretty infamous, Princess Elise the Third. And in case you're wondering what this character even is supposed to be, well, here's a better image for you. Yeah, she's just Princess Peach, but worse in every single way. From the voice, design, and even interacting with other characters in the gameplay and story. She's like a worse version of Peach from Mario. And we'll get to that when we get to the story aspect of this game. For some reason, she's voiced by Lacey Shepard. Is that how you say her name? She was in Mean Girls, and I think a non-RT movie. I never seen that. Yeah, not the A-list actor, but I guess he's like, hey, we got this girl, so we'll have her voice the character, because Mean Girls is a good movie. Doesn't translate over, though, game devs, because she's actually the worst voice actor in the game.
To tell the truth, I don't care what happens to the world.
She gives a performance that makes an already pretty bad character, especially in writing, even worse, because her delivery is just so bad and clunky and stale. Definitely not a voice actor, that's for sure. You can tell. Another new character that I'm mentioning because of their voice, and we'll get to him a little more, especially down the line, is Mephiles, who is definitely the highlight of the game, and he's made a little bit of a resurgence. He is voiced by Dan Green, who also voices Knuckles. However, his Knuckles voice, it's decent, it's alright, he does a serviceable job as Knuckles. However, Mephiles is just a diabolically evil voice that, it's one of those characters that you just love to hate, and that is Mephiles the Dark.
You must realize now that you cannot hope to stop me with your limited power.
Due to an oversight, Sonic can not longer jump into enemies. He has a homing attack and everything. But that is okay, since most of the time you're going to do that anyway. But it is a little annoying. He's got most of his abilities. He's got a new slide, which allows him to go under doors and kick through things. He has a light speed dash. He's got his bounce back. Most of these are actual upgrades he has to get later on. but they're basically the same thing as you do in Adventures. You get to buy upgrades rather than just find them in levels like in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. For the most part, Sonic controls fine. He runs, he can spin dash, however his spin dash is pretty terrible since he can only do it from complete standstill unlike other 3D Sonic games, and he can't move out of it. So that kind of sucks. However, the rest of his movement is perfectly fine. It's a little hard to get used to once you start playing. That's it for the voice actors. Let's get into the gameplay, starting with Sonic's gameplay. It basically works the same way as Sonic Adventure did, however he's a little more stiffer in control-wise. So he takes a little bit of time to get used to, but once you do, I don't notice any problems. Like I say, he's a little stiffer, but he still moves fast, even though he does feel a little clunky, especially during this intro stage where it seems like it's hard to go for the rings because Sonic's moving forward. It's not too bad to really realign yourself there. Overall, Sonic controls decently in this game. It's not god-awful, it's playable, it's pretty much perfectly fine, and once you get used to it, you can actually find yourself doing kind of cool tricks and unique things. Though it's not perfect all the time, though I do find less jank than I do in games like Sonic Heroes, which is a game that I love a lot as a kid, but doesn't hold up as much. Does that make any sense? I don't know what to say. Basically, I found less bugs in this game than I did in Sonic Heroes that ended up me getting killed. But that's not the end for Sonic's moveset. Pretty famously, or infamously, there are these things called the Mach Speed sections. Sonic decides he's going to run at full speed, and he's kind of like an on-rail experience. It's kind of like a prototype to the boost formula. And at first, this can be a little daunting, as it seems like Sonic's not doing what you want him to do. So essentially, how this works is that you can move him left to right, and he can jump, as well as realign himself using the light speed dash with the trail of rings. However, jumping is not the best thing, since you can actually end up hitting yourself in the head certain times, and sometimes you gotta hold for it after going off a ramp into certain sections. But if you play it safe, these aren't too bad. In fact, it is kind of fun to feel Sonic running at these speeds. I know we have better games for it nowadays, but there's short little set pieces that are fun enough once you get used to it. Like I said, a lot of these things in Sonic games, you just gotta get used to it. First try, you just think it sucks. It's one of those things like, okay, now I got used to it, now it works fine. But yeah, there is always a little bit of a trial and error of some of these Sonic games. Another thing Sonic has is a snowboard, which of course we've seen in previous Sonic games. This is easily the worst controlling snowboard, and while the other ones I can defend a little bit, this snowboard sucks. Luckily these sections are very short. Basically, Sonic moves pretty slow, and his jumping off ramps just don't work. He seems to really slow down, and I don't know why it sucks so bad. It's, like I said, both the sequences you play this in, which is White Acropolis and Crescent City, are incredibly short, and there's nothing too terrible that should really kill you anywhere. But yeah, it's not good, and it kind of sucks. And of course, there's another Sonic playstyle. Yeah, there's a little bit too many playstyles in this game. One of them is holding on to Elise during 2 levels, being Dusty Desert and the Jungle level, which I forgot the name of. But yeah, basically Sonic moves exactly as he did. He can't spin dash anymore, but he can still homing attack by kicking them, I guess, now, instead of turning into a ball. But everything else is pretty much the same. He can still slide and everything like that. Just certain moves that requires him to go in a ball move he can't, which kind of sucks, but oh well, it doesn't really matter that much. The new things, if you hold down the RT button, a new weird like flame shield goes around you, which allows you to destroy enemies and go through certain hazardous areas like quicksand or water. That's kind of neat, but it's kind of beat at the same time. It's not bad, however, in the PO6, which I will be talking about a lot more later on, which is a fan remake, I actually find these stages kind of annoying since I lose a lot of abilities I had as normal Sonic. But in rather base 06, it's not bad, though it would be cooler to see Sonic not carrying a weird, realistic human lady with orange legs. During Sonic's playthrough, you'll also be playing as 2 other characters, that being his 2 hero buddies, Tails and Knuckles. Tails controls kind of like he did in Sonic Adventure, except a little bit more stiff. A lot of people say he's terrible, but I honestly don't find him that bad. The worst thing about him is his dummy rings, which is his only weapon. He can't do a tail swipe or jump into enemies, and then dummy rings are kind of annoying to deal with. However, you don't even need to use them. The best way to use them is just fly and then drop them down, straight down. But based on the level you actually play as Tails, you can just kind of run and fly through levels, and that controls decently enough. Like I said, his attack sucks ass, and dummy rings makes no sense. I know it's technically in Sonic Heroes, but it was stupid there too, but you didn't even use it that often. Here, yeah, you can aim and throw it, and they're not good, but like I said, you just don't have to use them, and really you're not to kill any enemies with Tails, because the main goal of his levels is always just to fly up, and that's all you really need. You also get to play as Knuckles, though I feel like a lot less than Tails. All these side characters, you don't really play them that often. Knuckles can punch, which is definitely better than throwing rings, but their punches aren't that great. He does have the ground attack, which is based off his drill claw, so he can't dig. And yeah, he has a glide, he can climb up walls. However, he can stick to certain walls and he can't jump off, but that's more obvious, evident with Rouge. Since you don't play as Knuckles that much, he's okay, and the only section you really do play as him that I can even recall is just hitting switches. Knuckles doesn't have really any purpose in this game when it really comes down to it, story-wise and gameplay-wise, but we'll get to the story just a little bit. But yeah, Knuckles, he's okay. Nothing too terrible here, but nothing great either. Alright, next up is Silver's campaign. Silver is definitely one of the most unique playing characters in the game. A lot of people complain that he's slow, but yeah, he's a little slower than usual, but the gameplay fits, and I don't have a lot of problems with it. Like I said, I never really, even though the characters are a little slower than they should be, I don't have much problem with that. I don't think the game ever, like, punches you in any way that feels like, oh, I'm too slow. Anyway, Silver's a very unique character, because like I said, he uses telekinesis, meaning that he can grab enemies with the RT button, or whatever, the PS3 one. I'm an Xbox player when it comes to this type of game. Sorry, PS3, but even then again, the PS3 version is actually worse than the 360 version, so who cares? Anyway, Silver can pick up objects and enemies and throw them at stuff. Most of the time you're throwing in boxes because you need to stun enemies in order to pick them up, which can be annoying. He has a little bitch pimp slap that he can use, but that's kind of useless. He also can glide temporarily through the air, which you actually can use to great effect if you know how to use it correctly. Using lightly taps, you can actually go a lot farther than you can. But it is fun to throw stuff at enemies. It is a little clunky, but like I said, once you get used to it, it's perfectly fine. Though it definitely could be better. And of course, there's also these symbols, which allows you to interact with certain elements of a level, like bringing stuff out, and that's cool and all. Silver's an alright character, but he definitely could be a better design character, and he is in some PO6, but that's a different story. The two other characters you play as Silver are Blaze, which is a pretty interesting character, seeing as, you know, she was originally introduced as Sonic Rush, but now she has a different backstory. We'll get to that when we get to the story element. But Blaze controls similar to Sonic, except she's actually slightly better than Sonic. Essentially, she feels a little faster, as well as having a double jump and an interesting homing attack, which makes her go flying through the air. And it's actually really fun to use. She also has a useless tornado attack, which you'll never use because, like I said, her actual homing attack ability is way better. But yeah, she's actually a really fun character. Unfortunately, you rarely play as her, other than one single level where you solo play as her, which is pretty cool. But yeah, pretty fun character, but not given a whole lot to do in the story and in gameplay. The other character you play in Silver's campaign is Amy, and Amy is really slow. Like I said, Silver's slowness isn't that bad, but Amy's is really bad. She has her double jump, which is fine, but yeah, you don't really use it. And she has a very limited hammer reach, which sucks, because, you know, her hammer is very fun to play with in Sonic Adventure. Like I said, I actually like playing as Amy in Sonic Adventure. You can go watch my Sonic Adventure video if you don't know. And another weird ability she has is that she can turn invisible. And now, I never use this ability because it's pretty much pointless. The game barely even tells you about it. And why does Amy turn invisible to begin with? Like, what the hell is that about? Anyway, your sections are incredibly limited, and there's not a whole lot you can do in them anyway, so it's not terrible. But yeah, she definitely is one of the worst controlling characters in the game. Anyway, next up is Shadow the Hedgehog, who, unlike in his previous game, does not shoot anything. That's a problem, I guess. But anyway, Shadow still has vehicles, which sucks, but talking about his main gameplay. He's a little slower than Sonic, but he has most of the same thing Sonic does, except he has a kind of a fighting homing attack where he basically will just keep punching at enemies if he can't get his way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. He has a slide attack, but he has no spin dash, and he has a light speed attack, so that's about it. He also can do a new Chaos Spear attack, which can stun certain enemies, which is kind of useful. But overall, yeah, he's fine. He's a little bit more combat heavy, basically Sonic, which is fun and all. But yeah, nothing too special there. Unlike in Shadow the Hedgehog, where you didn't even have to use these vehicles, in Sonic 6 it actually requires you to use some of these vehicles, like his random ATV going on here, and a motorcycle. The motorcycle and ATV basically control the same, where you're driving around and you can shoot at stuff. It's clunky and can flip over. This thing kind of sucks, and I'm glad PO6 can basically avoid these altogether, because who the fuck wants to drive as a car when you're a super fast hedgehog anyway? Oh well. There's also this hang glider, which are incredibly short, and you can basically do nothing during them, but hey, at least they make more sense than the other ones. They're kind of neat, but yeah, they're kind of useless, unless you want to collect some extra 1-ups along the way. The worst vehicle is easily the hovercraft, which luckily you don't have to use that much. From the Kingdom Valley section, this thing, if it gets touched a little bit, it just dies, and it's super annoying. It also has limited ammo. It's like, Shadow, why can't you just skate across this water? Why are you using this stupid hovercraft? Yeah, it kind of controls like ass, and it takes like damage like a bitch, so it sucks. When it comes to the other characters you play as in Shadow's campaign, it's the characters you expect it to be. It's Rouge and Omega. Rouge's back controls like a slightly better version of Knuckles, except for the fact that she also can't jump off walls. For some reason, they did not check that, which is really weird. So if you're on a wall, if you're not going up and try to jump off it, a lot of areas you'll just find your clunk stuck to the wall, which is pretty bad design. Other than that, Rouge is okay. She's a little fast, and she can throw bombs, which work better than Tails' ring things. But yeah, it's fine, and she's okay. I guess the developers liked her a lot, because she actually plays her a lot more than any other character that's a side character. Oh well. The other character you play as, like I said, is Omega, which makes sense as well. Team Dark, after all, they're the greatest team ever made. Yeah, Omega, he can glide, and actually infinitely glide if you smash it, which is pretty funny. But it's also pretty fun to use. He also obviously can shoot bullets there. He's very unique because, like I said, they're basically making a new character here. I guess Gam would be the closest thing to him, but at the same time he's very different. But yeah, he's actually one of the fastest characters in the game, which is kind of shocking. And he has a shot he can do in the air and on the ground. He's a fine character, but you're not going to be playing with him a whole lot, but you can cheese the game with him, which is always fun to do. Alright, one thing I also got to mention is the loading screen. These little things, this little guy right here, this guy appears way more than he probably should, and I can't defend this. I can defend Sonic 06, but these load times, they're bad. They're bad for a different reason, they might think, though. They're not exactly long, they're like 30 seconds at most, but I find they can go by pretty quickly for the most part. The problem with them is the frequency. These things come out way more times than need to. It's probably the problem with not bug testing the game, really. Especially during town missions, where they'll actually load in a dialogue box just to load the actual mission. You'll talk to a person, load, get a small dialogue box, load, actual mission, score, load. Yeah, they can be pretty tedious, especially since these appear during mid-levels, during level sections. But yeah, you kind of get used to them after a while. You kind of just forget about them. I've experienced way worse loading times in other games, personally speaking, but the problem with these things are the frequency more so than the actual length of them, if that makes any sense. Anyway, let's start with the game proper, and the best way to start that with is with Sonic. So let's start Sonic's story. The first thing you'll be greeted to is a oddly very highly detailed animated intro cutscene. Like, holy shit, look at this thing. This thing looks great even to this day, which is shocking since some of the Sonic pre-renders don't look that great nowadays, but this looks better than that. But yes, this is the city of Soliana, which is having a festival, I guess, and this is their princess, who's also the queen, I guess, because there's no king, because he died. So, yeah, whatever. Suddenly, it's attacked with missiles and rockets. Holy shit, people are probably dying there! And of course, you already know who's doing this. It's the evil Dr. Eggman, Ivo Robotnik, and he is... what the fuck? So yeah, to make Eggman fit in with the other realistic humans, they gave him a realistic redesign, which it looks fine sometimes, but at the same time it looks goofy as hell. Like, it just does not work at the same time. The big buttons on the coat that looks like nipples for some reason is something that I don't understand. People say nipples, but it looks like random bottle caps. Like, what the fuck are you doing there, Eggman? And Mike Pollock is a more serious performance, but he somehow looks more goofy in this design, which is why I find it kind of hilarious. This redesign for Eggman is so bad. So Eggman wants the princess and her Chaos Emerald, which she has, because of course she does. Everyone has a Chaos Emerald. But luckily she is saved by you-know-who.
Wow, that's a pretty snazzy performance there.
For some reason, this reminds her of a random other silver hedgehog that looks nothing like him, but whatever. I guess to her, all hedgehogs look the same, which is racist. Sorry I had to show you that sequence. That sequence is super cool. I actually saw this as a kid, not knowing what it was from, but thinking this was super cool. Hell, they even referenced this scene in Sonic 2, the movie. Pretty awesome.
I'm Sonic! Sonic the Hedgehog!
So yeah, the intro of Sonic 06 is weird but cool at the same time, which basically represents the whole entire game. But in the distance we see that same silver hedgehog that she saw in the flashback is also watching. He's like, I'm gonna kill Sonic. So you're left wondering, like, who is this guy? Why does he want to kill Sonic? Well, let's find out. Suddenly, the cutscene takes a giant nosedive as we get the in-game graphics that look way worse than the actual pre-rendered cutscene. The juxtaposition between the two is hilarious. We also discover that Elise just gets kidnapped immediately after Sonic rescues her. He's like, hey, I'll destroy these robots, and she's like, oh, I got kidnapped by this arm. This is gonna be a running theme in this game, and she throws her Chaos Arm, which Eggman, I guess, doesn't want anymore. Oh well. So Eggman brings her into the egg carrier, or the non-egg carrier? It looks like the egg carrier, I don't know what to say. Sonic watches, and instead of actually going to rescue her, he decides to wait until morning, because, you know, he has better things to do than rescue the princess. Like, seriously, it turns from night into morning in this next scene. He gets his buddy Tails to join, and that's what's really important. He's like, we gotta save this princess, and yeah, that's the whole entire game for us. And he's like, really? Yeah, that's the game. People also complain the lip syncing kind of sucks in this game, because they rushed the game so they weren't able to do what they usually do, which is have the English first and then Japanese. But yeah, they did the Japanese dub and didn't even bother trying to match the lip sync. It doesn't look too bad for the most part, but a lot of times it does. And they also do the same mocap thing, which is kind of goofy. But, you know, I'd rather have a goofy but fun story rather than overly top, corny dialogue we see in some of the later Sonic games. At this point, we get introduced to the open world, which is what Soliana is. There's 3 open worlds. One is Soliana Castle, which is based off Venice City, Italy. And it's kind of fun. You basically pull things to find little collectibles, go to the shop, as well as go to the levels. And, of course, you do town missions. You actually get introduced to our first town mission here, which is actually required in order to get to the next level. This old man named Robert is like, I can get you shoes if you pass my test. This is our first bit of gameplay, and Sonic 06 is not very good at teaching you how to play the game, really, which is one of the problems with the game. It starts you in just running through rings, which is fine. I actually like doing that stuff. I know, Super Mario 64 joke insert here, but yeah, it's fine for the most part, other than that one spring area where it's kind of awkward to control here. It's not bad once you get used to it, but for a new player, this area should have been redesigned. So yeah, you have to go to the shop in order to buy the Lightspeed Dash from this guy who's talking a mile per minute. And yes, every NPC in this game looks like a sim character, which is kind of funny if you ask me. You need the Lightspeed Dash, which you already know what it is via playing our Sonic games in order to get to the first level. The best thing about this is that when you get over here, Tails will always die. I have no idea how he dies here. He can fly, so why is he drowning? He also can't swim in Sonic 3, so why is he drowning? Anyway, that will bring us to our first level, which is Wave Ocean, which is a semi-recreation of Emerald Coast from Sonic Adventure. I don't know why they decided to recreate it, but it's fine. It works as its own thing, but at the same time it does copy elements from Emerald Coast. I don't know why they did that, but I guess they're like, hey, look, here's the great level from Sonic Adventure 1. And a lot of people just say it's a showcase of how worse this is compared to Sonic Adventure 1, and yeah, I like this game perfectly fine, but it definitely is nowhere near as good as Sonic Adventure 1. I'll give you that right off the bat, but then again, I think Sonic Adventure 1's a masterpiece. But this opening section does give you a better feel of how Sonic controls here. You can swing up pipes, you can find the silver medallions, which are all across the game, and they don't do a whole lot, but they are fun to collect. You can grind, which I think the grinding's fine in this game. Not bad, but I do like the element of actually hailing attack onto the actual rails, actually make it easier to actually stay on them. I actually like that feature quite a lot. But yeah, the level is fine. There's a bunch of bar posts all over the place, and generic robots. Nothing too interesting here. Eggman reuses the same robots over and over again in this game. Some of them have better health bars than others, and others don't. Instead of running on water, Sonic decides he's going to skid across the water on his shoes, which is kind of strange, but whatever. And then you get a most obvious homage to Sonic Adventure, where the whales are destroying the dock and you're running away from them. However, there's a little twist at the end, where you gotta jump off the boards of the planks in order to go on top of a whale. This is another thing that's not good for early players, because this part, even though Sonic says jump, a lot of people just don't know what to do there and do not jump. But yeah, it's not that hard, honestly. It's not a big deal. Anyway, Sonic's been rocketed by the whale, and he needs help from his buddy, Tails. So yeah, Sonic's in the distance on the whale, which is actually kind of fun, as Tails has to save Sonic by releasing a switch so he can get free of the whale. And yeah, it's actually a kind of fun set piece. There's that one reviewer I mentioned earlier, who I liked a lot as a kid, said that Sonic 06 has no fun set pieces, and I don't know what this is. I know it's copying set pieces, but it's also evolving them, so yeah, whatever. Even though you can fight enemies in this Tails section, since he can fly, you basically can just go right to the end of this area without having to worry about anything. But yeah, you can choose to kill some of the enemies here. And once you find a switch on top of the second little hill there, a gate will go down and Sonic will go to the next section of the level. And that is the Mach Speed section, which I did talk about. Did I say Mach instead of Mach? Yeah, Mach and Mach, they're the same word, aren't they? Anyway, so yeah, Sonic will go at top speed and he'll try to catch up with the egg carrier because they're not going to make it, so let's speed up. One thing you'll notice is that The jumping from one spot to another is kind of janky. They didn't animate it correctly. Sometimes it is animated correctly. Other times Sonic just does a T-pose, which is hilarious, but it doesn't look cool, so that's kind of lame. But yeah, at least I talked about how the gameplay controls here, so there's nothing new here. Essentially just running through trees, benches, and all sorts of stuff. Eventually, at the end of the level, you'll find that they weren't fast enough, and Eggman got away.
He got away.
But that's not going to stop him, as Sonic finds the feather from Forrest Gump and decides that life's like a box of chocolates and he's going to keep on running. Also, Tails pretty much quote for quote basically quotes Toad from Super Mario Bros. And says the princess has been moved to another location. Except it's a location instead of a castle. Like, seriously, Tails? They're still on the nose here. Like, what the hell? By this point, you can go back to the shop and buy the anti-gravity thing, which is just the slide attack, which you'll definitely need for the game. And yeah, in case you're wondering how points work, basically it depends on how your score in the level is and how many talent actions you do. You shouldn't have any problem buying any upgrades that you need for the game. There's some side upgrades that you can get, but I'll talk about that a little later in the gameplay, alright? As well as the town missions too, which there's quite a lot of, and weird NPCs like this accordion player who looks exactly like Mario. Like, what the fuck's going on there? While you can still do town missions, there are things you have to do, like slide under this thing with your new upgrade in order to save a random girl who's on top of the roof. I don't know why she's there. I guess she's stupid as hell. And because of that, this old man here, who's praising the gods, I guess, with his hands, allows you to go to the desert. There we go, our next level. So, Sonic goes to the desert and immediately saves Elise, who really wasn't hidden by anything. And she likes him so much that she gives him a hug. And Sonic's like, hey, it's a little too touchy-feely there, girl. But uh-oh, Eggman's got a new weapon to use against Sonic, even though he's just staying there and Sonic can kick him in the balls. He's usually using his little Eggmobile, but here he's just gonna stand there and be menacing. It turns out that Eggman's after this thing called the Flames of Disaster that's inside the princess, and that's why he wants her. And Sonic's like, fuck you, this bitch is mine. Anyway, this boss is called the Egg Cerberus, and there's a little issue with that. This thing has one head. Cerberus famously had 3 heads. Sega, do you not know what that dog looks like? Anyway, this boss is actually super easy. All you do is wait for it to stop running around like a little bitch. Maybe it is a female, so bitch would be a correct term for it. You let it stop, and then you homing attack the rail on its back, and then you make it go into the wall. And basically just do that for a little bit of times, like crashing statues. It's fine, a little slow, but nothing hard or terrible. So now Eggman's pissed off that you defeated his little robot there, so he's sending a bunch of robots after them.
How long is this gonna go on?
The game just started, Sonic. Why are you saying how long it's gonna go on? Come on, dude. Get some patience there. So Sonic runs along with Princess Elise in the dusty desert, which is our next level. This level's gimmick is that you're holding on to a broad who can't do much for herself, but she has a random glowy orb around her. Oh, that's neat, I guess. And yeah, that's pretty much this level. This level's mostly fine, but kind of forgettable. Nothing too exciting going on here. Most of it is just trying to avoid going into the quicksand by using the orb effect, like as you can see there. And it's one of those things, like, you kind of wonder why they even add that into the game. Like, wouldn't it be better not to have this broad here? It doesn't add a lot to the story anyway. Whatever. But when you beat the level, Sonic points at her saying, yep, that's my bitch. Also, this is the first Melee Sonic game to have the S rank, which definitely was in Sonic Rush, but hey, now we got the S rank as a top tier instead of A tier. After this, they run out of the desert into Windows XP Bliss screensaver, which, yeah, that's what it looks like. It's Bliss! So yeah, apparently Sonic's arm is injured. I don't see the injury, and Sonic just stands there like, okay, I guess I'll pick my nose. But at least it's starting to fall for Sonic, and I'm not joking about that. Even the Butterfly thinks he's got a lot of riz going on, and she's like, wow, this Hedgehog that has a head bigger than my body, he's super hot. Now I know you're wondering, why the hell are they having a thing with a girl and a hedgehog? Well, you might think I'm over-exaggerating this, but by the end, if you don't know this game, then you're in for a real shock. But yeah, it's basically doing this episode of Sonic X where Sonic was taking this girl who was in a wheelchair out to see the world, get a chance of the free life. But instead of that, we get a spoiled princess who doesn't cry, apparently. And then she says, like, the Flames of Disaster is going to destroy the world, I guess, and that's inside me, and it's gone, so whatever. Sonic's like, you're too sheltered, let me show you the world. Shining, shimmering, splendid. Though he should be more careful, after all, he's super powerful. He could rip this girl's arm off, but whatever. Sonic does not give 2 shits. Anyway, they go back into town, but then Sonic is attacked!
I've been looking for you. You're the Iblis Trigger. You're actions will condemn us all. Who are you? My name is Silver. For the future of the world, I will destroy you!
So yes, this is the boss fight, Silver the Hedgehog, an introduction to the character because you can't play Silver by himself until this point. And yes, here's one of the most missed parts of the game. Well, there's a lot of missed parts of the game. The Silver boss fight. And let's just say that it is no use. Silver is a hard boss fight. Just kidding, it's not. But once you know what to do, it's pretty easy. But if you don't know what to do, it is super hard. Essentially, all you gotta do is wait for him to throw stuff at you and then attack him. But if you don't, well...
It's no use! Take this! It's no use! Take this! Use! Take this! It's no use! This will end it!
Yes, this boss fight is incredibly glitched, and I gotta show you one of the best glitches. So if you get into this wall here, he will get you out of bounds, basically. He'll keep collecting rings, so you end up in a loops. That sucks, but you can get even more launched out of the air, as you're out of the hitbox here, and everything seems fine. Like, okay, I can explore slowly on, I've all the people here, but, you know, the real thing is that if you go back to the boss area, and you're just right there, he'll grab you, and since you can't hit the invisible wall, you'll get flung into space. And when I mean space, I mean you will literally go past the skybox and it will be space. It actually looks like you're going to space from this angle. This is a hilarious glitch. You have to reset your game, by the way, because this goes on forever. But yeah, Sonic's in space now. Hey, I never said this game is perfect. I said I liked it. Doesn't mean it has to be perfect. But like I said, it's one of those things where if you know what to do, it's not too bad, and trial and error is what's everything. But like I said, without knowing that, this boss fight can be a pain in the ass. But yeah, we defeat Silver, and we get our next cutscene. Silver does a push to Sonic, and he makes a really funny face. Like, look at that face. I don't know why, but this face he makes is hilarious.
Is this a joke? How could someone like you cause the destruction of our world?
So Silver's gonna kill Sonic as Elise gets kidnapped again. Like, she just gets hit up with the arm thing again. Like, Eggman's just right there waiting.
Ha! Don't you dare turn your back on me! It's time I finally put an end to this!
Luckily for Sonic, his girlfriend saves him in the nick of time. And yeah, Sonic's pretty grateful, but he doesn't seem to care about Amy in this game, because he only wants human women in this universe for some reason. I don't know, if I were you, I would go after Amy, but that's just me. So Sonic leaves Amy in the hands of a hedgehog that could possibly kill her, but he doesn't care. He's gotta go save Elise, because that's all his motivation is in this game. In order to get the next level, you gotta talk to the lieutenant in order to get the next part of the city. And he's like, you gotta find the commander, alright? Do you know who the commander is? So this guy, Pietro, is who you're talking to, basically says, find the commander, and then come back to me when you found him. He's like, okay, who's the commander? Do you know who it is? Well, tell me who it is. And then you talk to him. He's like, yeah, it's me. Why did they put this in the game? What were they thinking? I know, I like this game, but that's such a stupid concept. It's so funny, though, at the same time. Like, why would they make that a mission? It's so stupid. Anyway, we get to our next part of the map, which is a city area. And the map is a little hard to go around because they're big. There's not a whole lot of crap in it, but nothing too interesting, and not a whole lot of set pieces here. But instead of actually having a shop guy, we have a shop market here. This area is kind of cool because it's kind of like a city, where everyone's kind of like an old town, but, you know, whatever. It's neat, I guess. And you get to see all these realistic humans, a lot of balding, fat guys all over the place, and sim-like characters. And these guys are guarding the gate, but fuck them, we can just jump over them. From the warehouse, we find Knuckles, who has a card. Hopefully it's not a card from Sonic Shuffle, because that game fucking sucks. But yeah, Knuckles is here. Was he not doing Angel Island? Girl may never know. Angel Island's not mentioned in this game, or the Master Emerald, so don't worry. Apparently Knuckles got a card from Eggman, and Eggman's like, Sonic, you gotta give me a Chaos Emerald, bitch, or you won't see your bitch ever again. Sonic decides he doesn't want this card anymore and throws it back to Knuckles, who is not able to pick it up because he's got boxing glove hands. Then Knuckles joins them on the journey. They're like, this could be a trap, but Sonic's like, I gotta save this generic bland woman because it's my duty as the guardian of this one random woman. I guess it's my whole purpose in this game. Anyway, you gotta defeat some enemies in order to get into this next area here. Nothing too hard here. You're just mashing the homing attack. And then we get onto our next stage, which is Red Acropolis. We start off in a really bad snowboarding section where essentially the controls are like shit and Sonic doesn't really do what you want him to do. He'll do like weird somersaults if he gets hit. Why does he do that? I do not know. But yeah, this section is it's eh. Eventually there'll be this giant snowball chasing after you, which is kind of cool, but then it swaps angles and it's kind of beat, but whatever. Basically, after that, you do a giant jump all the way on to Eggman's base. So yeah, this is Eggman's base, and there's a bunch of watchtowers and a bunch of robots in this area, but that's kind of fun to destroy them all. And basically, you can also destroy the towers by jumping into them, but if you get caught by one of the towers, what will happen is it'll spawn more robots for you to destroy. I mean, you know what? I like destroying robots, so it's not that big a deal, and they're pretty easy to avoid if you want to. But Tails disagrees, as he wants to destroy all the bots and all the searchlights, which he has an easier time doing since, you know, he has bombs, he can fly right up to them. But oh well. After a short Tails section, we're given control of Sonic again. We're given a little open area where we gotta go past these laser bars and find ways to get around, and this is definitely a great part of the level. This is fun to play around with and actually use your ability to see where you can get to. And that's one of the reasons I like Sonic 06, is the level design is actually pretty great. Like I said, PO6, which is the fan game, doesn't change a single thing about the level design for pretty much the most part. And that's what makes this game so good. It's not so good, but you know, I like it. And after running across a little half pipe here, we finally get to the end of the level. They found the base, however, it was a trap. No shit. Eggman's like, place the Chaos Emerald down, please. Sonic doesn't remember Sonic Adventure 2 and thinks this is a perfectly good idea to do. In this cutscene, we can also see Eggman's eyes, and they're blue, apparently. And that's, like, really weird to see. I don't like that, so Eggman's gonna swap the scene away from him. It turns out that Eggman's created a time machine teleporter, and he teleports Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles into the future. Apparently that's something he can do. Neat, I guess. And Eggman's like, don't feel too sad, they're alive, but they're not dead yet, and they're out of my way. And then he just goes on a rant for a while that means really nothing. So they fall from the heavens, but Sonic's too cool to fall on his face, unlike Tails and Knuckles, who fail miserably. Luckily, they find some familiar faces of Rouge and Shadow. Rouge is saying hello, and Shadow's too mopey to greet them. So they're like, shit, we're in the distant future where the city's entirely destroyed, what the fuck are we supposed to do now? So how are these characters going to go back to the past? Well, you see, Chaos Control can induce time travel. Sonic just figures this out, and Shadow points at him, is like, that's not specific, you need a second one. And Sonic's like, okay, that makes perfect sense. I guess I could have time traveled this whole time in this franchise, because I have it at Chaos Emeralds multiple times, but whatever. Crisis City, here we go. So yes, this is Crisis City, one of the most famous stages from the game. Obviously one of them. It was chosen for Sonic Generations to represent the game. Even I think the future stage is more representative of this game, but whatever. You start out with a little snowboarding section, which is fine. It's better than the one snowboarding section in the previous level, but it's still not that great. But then you grind rail into the main stage, and the main stage for Crisis City is super fun. There's a lot of cool little set pieces and areas to run around in, and a whole lot of goodies to find. It's definitely one of the best levels in the game, well, except for the last section of the part, but we'll get to that pretty soon. There's a bunch of new enemies here, so Eggman's robots are fighting these Iblis monsters, which are the Iblis worms and birds or falcons, or whatever they are. I should know what their names are, but I don't. But anyway, yeah, this stage is pretty fun, and has really cool stuff going on, and it's quite enjoyable, so it's definitely one of the best stages in the game. I don't know how to describe stuff that's really good like this. Be like, yeah, the level design's good. It's kind of like one of those things, you see it, and you know what I mean. I mean, look at this section. This is just super cool. Like, I love this area where he just runs around the building and then explodes around him. It's just super cool. I don't know what to say. And then the next section of the level after that is you're kind of going towards a giant fire tornado. So all the elements of the level are kind of floating through the air as you gotta try to stay on board while you're hitting the enemies and just trying to survive. And yeah, I don't know. People say this game's bad. This is fun as shit. This is the point in the game where I was like, okay, everything's decent, but like, I'm actually having a lot of fun playing this, so I feel like I'm going insane. But yeah, it turns out that they're still looking for the Chaos Emerald, because Crisis City may be over, but they still gotta find it. Very strangely, they see three characters. It looks like a Gray Shadow, that guy who tried to kill Sonic earlier, and Blaze the Cat, who I guess Sonic and Tails don't remember, because I guess Sonic Rush didn't happen yet, but whatever. The characters learn in this scene that the reason why Silver is after Sonic is because this evil-looking Shadow once said that Sonic's going to destroy the world and make it fiery like it is now. And Sonic's like, okay, that's kind of weird. I guess I don't really question it. I just learn about it, or whatever. So Sonic doesn't seem to care that someone wants to kill him like that. He's just kind of just used to it. And he's like, okay, whatever. Then Tails decides to do some research and says, oh my god, the princess died! It's terrible!
This is terrible!
So basically, Sonic and his friends did jack shit, and Rouge says, "You guys suck, we found a Chaos Emerald, what'd you fuckers do?"
Well now, I may not look it, but I'm a real treasure hunter. Unlike a certain echidna I know.
Yeah, Knuckles basically told that he's a shitty character in this game, which he kind of is. Shadow acts like they discovered anything, and they never questioned him and why he was what the guy that looks like him is, and I guess they don't give a shit. Like, whatever. I guess they realized it wasn't a Shadow. I guess they're not clear about the game he is or Elise is, but whatever.
Don't be late. Same to you.
Yeah, Shadow just outcooled Sonic there. Yeah, this is why this game should be called Shadow 06, because he's way cooler in this game. But yeah, anyway, they found out there's an Chaos Emerald inside of a giant volcano, which ends up in our next level known as Flame Core. Which, you know, is Sonic running into a volcano. What else is it? You can really see it in the background. Yeah, Flame Core is a pretty decent level, not as interesting as Crisis City, but yeah, you're doing a lot more bashing on enemies than you were in the previous level. You open up gates. Other than that, it's fine. There's a lot more lava and fire going on, even though the last stage did have a lot of fire going on. But you got more Iblis monsters to defeat, giant guys that will open up gates so that you can proceed and go on to the next section, crystals everywhere, and all sorts of stuff. This level is also the first time we're playing as Knuckles, which you rarely play as in this game, and all you do is press a bunch of switches in order to unlock a door, so nothing too hard here. It's pretty basic, but you might get stuck if you don't know what you're doing, or you're a little baby boy who doesn't know how to press those purple switches. But yeah, that was Flame Core. It's a fun stage. Nothing too bad here, and there's a lot of cool little sections here. We can run on rails, run on the walls, all sorts of good stuff. And looky here, they found a Chaos Emerald.
I found a Chaos Emerald.
Don't touch it!
Uh-oh, there's a giant Iblis monster wants to fight them. Yeah, this boss fight sucks, and you have to play again the second playthrough. This reason why this boss fight sucks, not because it's hard, is because it just takes forever. One thing I hate is it's waiting forever in games. This boss fight, all you do is just wait. Like, okay, can you send down platforms so I can attack you? Thank you. And that's pretty much the whole thing. You wait for the platforms to fall down so you can hit these crystal things, and then the Iblis worm will hit the crystal, and then you can hit the Iblis guy. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this boss fight. So it's pretty bland and not a whole lot going on. Oh, and when you do hit it, you go launch into the sky for a very long time. Will you land? Will you land? Is he gonna land? And he landed. Oh, he didn't land. He got swung on a spring. So now he landed. With the worm defeated, Sonic and the Shadow used their Chaos Emeralds to travel back in time, because that is something that the Chaos Emeralds could always do, apparently. Just don't question about all the plot holes that creates. Just don't think about it, alright? And they all jump in, and for some reason, we don't see Shadow and Rouge when they go for the portal. I know Shadow doesn't go through it in his storyline, but Rouge does, so where the hell does she go? Sonic decides it's a good idea to read the newspaper now, and he sees that he is an article, and that makes him happy, because he's an egotist, remember? After this, make sure you stop by the shop, because now you can buy the bounce bracelet, which allows you to do the bouncing, which is something I'm a big fan of, because I love the bounce bracelet in Sonic Adventure 2, and it works mostly the same as it did in that game. It's nowhere near as good, but it works for the most part. And since the next level is blocked off, we go to this little area, and we bounce on it, and that will automatically teleport us into the next stage, which just so happens to be my favorite stage in the game, Radical Train. You're basically in a train yard, chasing after a train that Eggman's on, and yeah, that's the main gimmick of it. It's just super cool. This level doesn't have a lot of gimmicks to it, it's just really fun game design with conveyor belts and moving platforms, a lot of high-speed areas and action. It's just a really well put together stage that flows really well. I like it quite a bit. One of the main gimmicks is that during some of these sections, you'll find little rooms there, which you have to find a switch to unlock a door and stop the train. If you don't, you get a game over, but it's pretty easy to find them, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, this is a really fun and well put together stage. In fact, during some sections, you can homing attack up there and you grind on some of the rails, which are like kind of these wires, which you might not think you can even do that, but you can, and it's super cool. And the guy's stuck in a box for some reason. The stage does end in a Mach speed section. However, this one, by this point, you should be used to them by now, and this one controls pretty well, and the level design's pretty good, so nothing too bad here, other than Sonic head planting into the areas. It works well, and it gives you that great sense of speed into one of my favorite levels in the entire game. Yahoo! Near the end of the section, you gotta avoid the exploding train, but that will lead you into the goalpost and ending the level. Awesome level. Play it. Sonic saved Elise from the train, and unfortunately for him, he gets attacked again!
You again! This time, there will be no more interruptions! The Iblis Trigger must die!
So Sonic's gotta fight Silver again, or I guess roll out the way. Well, too bad he doesn't have to, because someone comes to save his blue ass, I guess I should say. Also, Eggman steals the princess again. That's a fucking joke. But anyway, yeah, someone's come to save Sonic's ass, and it's Shadow, who looks super cool. He's like, Sonic, I got this, you little bitch. Go save that broad you seem to be really into for some reason in this game. I got my own broad, and she's a Latina. But Elise decides that she doesn't want to be captured by Eggman, and decides that she is going to kill herself. Pretty short game, actually. So Elise falls to her death, unleashing Iblis onto the world, but I guess that didn't happen. Oh well. Now we fight the Egg Genesis. I don't know why it's called the Egg Genesis. I guess Eggman's a big fan of that console. So yeah, this thing is pretty basic, but it's a pretty fun boss fight. Essentially, Eggman's going to shoot missiles and lasers at you, and eventually the arms of the robot will come down, and you can hit it from the top or the bottom. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course, Sonic will get launched in the sky, because every boss fight he needs to get launched in the sky. I don't know what Sonic's obsession is with getting launched in the sky in these boss fights, but oh well, everyone's got their fetish. So Sonic's like, yeah, you did a pretty cool move that could have killed you and could have destroyed the whole world. But Lisa's like, I think you're pretty hot, Sonic. What the fuck was that? Did Sonic get a boner from looking at this random broad? That's not in character at all. Doesn't Sonic reject Amy all the time because he likes running around and going on adventures? Why would he choose a woman who can't even keep up with him? They has to carry on her ass all the fucking time. Makes no fucking sense. No, seriously, Sonic's been shipped with a lot of characters. Obviously Amy, there's Sally in the comics, Blaze a little bit, even Shadow has a shit ton of ships with Sonic. But you know what nobody ever ships Sonic with? The fucking human girlfriend that he actually has in this game! Yeah, no one likes Sonic and Elise, because one, it looks fucking weird, and two, they have nothing in common, they have zero chemistry. They're like, oh, these characters are going to be together. Anyway, here's the next level. This is Tropical Jungle, a pretty okay level. The biggest setback of this level is that Sonic is stuck holding a broad the whole time, meaning that, yeah, he can't do as much as he can without her. These levels with Elise aren't as good as the ones without them, which is a shame because these levels wouldn't be so bad because, you know, you lose your movements. You can't do the bounce bracelet. You can't do the slide. You can't do the home, all this other shit. So, what the fuck? Anyway, yeah, this level is pretty basic. Compared to the Shadow and Silver levels, this one doesn't have a lot going on in this one. Essentially, you're just kind of running through a jungle, and we've seen better jungle levels in Sonic before. This one's not very special. There is, like, one sequence where, like, Sonic almost dies, but doesn't. It's this one right here. The vine goes all the way down for some reason, and they get shot up into the sky. I don't know why it does that. It just does. I gotta mention this, somebody might ask, but yes, you can use the glowing orb to walk on water. And yes, Sonic can walk on water, but he could run on water, and also he could skid in water in the first level, but whatever. And now we got a pre-rendered cutscene. Look at the graphics quality going up by a lot. And yeah, they're running through the jungle and into the forest. Sonic shows Elise all these flowers, and he tells her that being a princess isn't that easy.
Sounds like being a princess isn't that easy.
It actually is super easy. I don't know why she acts like it's very hard. She's a motionless bitch. Like, what the fuck? Why do they give him so many fucking royalty? I don't give a shit about royalty. She is so overwhelmed by emotions that she hugs Sonic instead of crying, because she wants to cry, but she can't because that will make a giant lava monster come out of her. Apparently that's how that works. But back in Soliana, the people are like, what the fuck is that? Even though they've seen this giant thing before. I don't know why they're so shocked by it. So what's going on? Well, Elise was returned to her castle, and she's like, well, I gotta get kidnapped by Eggman again. Sorry, it's the time for it to happen once again. Oh well. Can you tell how repetitive Sonic's story is in this game, and why his storyline's the worst in the game by a lot? We actually get to play as Tails after this, because I don't know what Sonic's doing. Tails is like, holy shit, I gotta contact Sonic by going into Wave Ocean again. I do not know why Tails is going to Wave Ocean. I guess he just likes that level a lot, and he wanted to experience it without falling to his death this time. And yeah, that's why we're going to Wave Ocean. So, yeah, I'm very confused by this level. It's basically just Wave Ocean again, but now as Tails, it's fine, but it feels like filler because it really is. This game really needs filler, but hey, I guess if you want to play as Tails in Wave Ocean, here you go. There's not much to say here. It's just Wave Ocean stripped down and with Tails. Once that is done, Eggman complains that he's wasted so much time kidnapping Elise again and again, and he goes on the same spiel he did earlier in the game about why he wants to do with the Flames of Disaster, which is take over the world. I don't know why they repeat the same exact dialogue over again, but whatever. Filler, I guess. Like, why is there so much filler on the Sonic storyline? We didn't even see Mephiles. We saw him, like, for one little bit. That's the main villain of the game. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Anyway, we'll get to their new hub world, which is a giant field area, but you won't even really experience it because you gotta talk to these three guys, these three goobers who want to do a test on you. This guy's like, I'm gonna test your intellect. And how do you test intelligence? By warping through portals. These tests are just flat out awful. These missions are just flat out shit. This one, you gotta memorize it, but it's kind of hard because the camera's janky and the movement is just so terrible. Like I said I do like this game, but there's just some of these missions are just flat out garbage. Next, you gotta test your courage with this guy. This one, you gotta defeat a bunch of enemies with 0 rings, which is easier said than done. You're pretty easy to get hit in this game, but usually that's not a big deal since you always recollect your rings, and you always save a little bit of rings you have in this game, which I actually like that feature. Some Sonic games have that, where you actually keep some of the rings you have a lot, and this game is one of them. Unfortunately, you're doing this with 0 rings, which can be tricky-dicky, but it's not too bad, especially compared to the previous mission, which was just bullshit. The next one was to give you the Trial of Love, which is the hardest challenge in the entire game. Alrighty, you ready for this really hard mission? You gotta choose between Sonic's true love. Is it Princess Elise or Amy?
I've been thinking about you a lot. I'll be waiting for you to the left here. Choose me, won't you, Sonic? I'll be waiting over to the right.
So we're not gonna be an idiot and we're gonna choose Amy because it's the most obvious choice, because why wouldn't it be? And yes, you have to answer, who would you rather bang, a pink hedgehog or a human woman? And yeah, that's something that apparently Sonic has to pass in order to go to the next level. What the fuck? That's done, we get to hold on to the hands of an eagle. Yeah, America. As Sonic enters it, he finds there's a bunch of robots, which is something he should be able to deal with. But luckily he's helped this time. And it's not Shadow, it's Silver, who decides that he's going to help Sonic because he came to a realization in his own storyline.
Look like you're in a hurry. So, what's going on? Circumstances have changed. I need to rescue the princess.
So Sonic's like, hey, I'm a cool guy, I'm gonna help you, I'll help you out, even though you try to kill me, you know, even though you tried to kill me. Revenge is not something he seeks on this planet. Anyway, we're entering the most famous stage in Sonic 06, I feel like, which of course is Kingdom Valley. I mean, it's on the title screen, it's on the cover, it represents the game pretty well, and the music is top-notch. I didn't mention this, but the music in this game is fantastic, like most Sonic games are, but this one in particular is just great. Kingdom Valley is a very fun but also challenging level. There's tons of falling platforms and challenges to overcome, and even grind on the light itself, which is super cool, or is that wind? I'm not too sure. And Sonic also grabs onto the wings of an eagle. But this stage has one bizarre element. You play as Silver? What? Yeah, for some reason, this game, I should say, you can play as a other character, which would make sense if you already played as them, but at this point you probably haven't, so why are we playing as Silver? I don't really get it. But either way, section is short, but it takes some time to get used to if you're not used to it, which is not a good game design, let's be honest. But luckily, Silver section is short, and we're back to playing as Sonic, who holds on to the wings of an eagle again. There's a lot going on in Kingdom Valley, a lot of robots to bash, a lot of areas to platform around, a lot of high-speed areas, so keep in mind this stage is probably going to take you a while. It's one of the hardest, but also most memorable stages in the game, for a good reason. The stage ends on a very memorable Mach speed section, not very difficult in my opinion, where basically you're running through this kind of a misty waterfall area, and you can see like rainbows and water particles all over the place, and it's very nice to look at. I actually like this area quite a lot, and seeing it is not very difficult, it's very fun to play. But uh-oh, Sonic and Silver are too late as the egg carrier is burning and about to get destroyed. So Sonic screams for Elise as the egg carrier is blown up and destroyed, and I guess he's sad about this. You know, Iblis isn't released from her death, but whatever. And Silver's like, hey, you remember that we have time travel, you dipshit? We can use that to reverse time and go back and save her. I was like, oh yeah, I guess I could have used that the whole fucking time. Oh well. So they use time travel, and by the way, why do they make cast terminals be able to use time travel so easily? Like, what the fuck? It's so many plot holes. Whatever.
I'll make sure to change Elise's fate. And that, in turn, should change your future, too.
So Sonic does it by himself. I guess he doesn't want help, unless it's Tails and Knuckles, whatever. Oh, at this point you can go to the shopkeep, and you can buy all these gems, but they're really expensive, and they're very broken. I'll talk about the gems way later in this game, but they are very interesting. In order to get to the final level, you gotta ring the 3 bells that are located along Soliana's main hub area, which you can find pretty easily, and you just gotta ring them. And yeah, that's about it. Doing this will unlock the final level in Sonic's campaign, which is located in the center. We can find the back of the center, and here you go. This is Aquatic Base, the final level of Sonic's campaign. It's been a long time, hasn't it? And yeah, this level is pretty basic. The main gimmick of this level is that there's tons of enemies to defeat, but using not a new ability, we've had it for a little bit now, but using the bounce bracelet actually destroys some of the bigger enemies pretty easily. But yeah, that's basically the whole gist of this level. There's a lot of enemies to destroy, and through the pathways, and there's a lot of different gimmicks here, like lasers, all beams all over the place, and all sorts of little things that Eggman has in store for you, because of course Eggman likes to have traps for Sonic in his final bases, why wouldn't he? And of course there's silver ball areas that kinda suck. Through the level you'll be swapping characters like Tails in order to activate switches, which is something you expect since it's the final level. And Knuckles is the only other time you play as him, where basically you just gotta fight some enemies and get to the end of the area. Like I said, nothing too difficult here, it's just pretty basic. If you don't like playing as a character, well, you can just run past it, because there's really nothing else you really need to do in this area. Near the end, Eggman will try to stop you all at once. The lasers will go off, all red lights will blare, all these glass coming. But Sonic, he's determined. He's got to reset the future, even though I think he only has one Chaos Emerald on him at the moment. Maybe Tails can do Chaos Control. He fucks up again. Oh well. Before Eggman can run away, Sonic does a smooth jump onto the egg carrier to fight Eggman in the final battle. This is the Egg Wyvern, which is just the final boss of Sonic's campaign in Sonic Adventure. I'm not even joking. It basically patrols the exact same way, except not as interesting or not as cool. You're fighting him outside of his little carrier here, and you just gotta wait for him to just come for you to attack him, much like a lot of boss fights in this game. This boss is pretty basic and super easy and not noteworthy at all. You just wait around for him to show himself, and yeah, that's about it. Even Sonic's bored of his shenanigans. And of course, this boss fight, as soon as you hit Eggman, you fly into the sky, because why else would he not fly? And once the platform is almost completely destroyed, you just jump into him and you defeat Eggman, who, I guess, his whole thing falls apart, including his pod thing, and he dies. R.I.P. Eggman. I mean, he doesn't have a parachute there, he just died. But Sonic does not give two shits that his former arch-nemesis died. We get another pre-ordered cutscene where Sonic saves Elise as the whole ship's getting destroyed around him. He's like, okay, Elise, your legs are not orange anymore. What happened there? And they run across the area in order to get her to safety. But Sonic's jump wasn't large enough, and he fails. He dies. Well, I guess he doesn't. And yeah, that's the end of the Sonic campaign. You want to know how it ends? Yeah, he laughs like a demented person, and that's it. And they creepily wink at each other, and that's Sonic's campaign in Psycho 6! Well, I had a lot of fun playing through Sonic's storyline. He has the best controls of all the characters, other than maybe Blaze, but Blaze you barely play as. And Tails and Knuckles are just fine characters to play as. For the most part, his storyline is just absolute ass. It's funny in a shitty way, and I would take it over a story I like the story over Sonic Colors and Lost World and shit like that, but it's still ass. Especially since all these interesting concepts are brought up, but you basically don't see any of it, because most of that stuff you get to see in the other campaigns. So yeah, Sonic's campaign is shit. But the gameplay is fun, and he also has a pretty kick-ass main theme. Much like the other soundtrack songs in this game, it's amazing. The song's theme is called His World, and for some reason there's like 50,000 different versions of this song in the one game. But I'll let you give it a little listen just so you can hear how amazing it is. Anyway, that's enough of Sonic's campaign. Let's go on to the next character, which I'm going to go with Silver instead of Shadow, and you'll see why. Silver's campaign starts with him monologuing about how his city he lives in is basically destroyed. It's been this way for a long time because of this thing called the Flames Disaster in Iblis, and he's in charge of keeping everything under control, even though everything is already out of control, but whatever. What else can you do when you're a telekinetic hedgehog? But he has one friend, Blaze the Cat from Sonic Rush, who also lives with him. She's not a princess from Altered Dimension in this game. She's from the future, and she has a lot of flames in her, I guess. Silver's first stage is Crisis City, because, you know, that's the city he lives in. Don't judge Silver, that's where he likes to live in the city, alright? It might be a little destroyed, but that's just how he is. Silver's gameplay, as already mentioned, is a lot slower than Sonic's, but it's not bad. Essentially here you need to move up billboards in order for him to get across, and other things like that. He jumps on cars, on rocks, and throws crates all over enemies. I think Crazy City does a good job at giving a tutorial how Silver's mechanics and controls work as compared to Sonic, who gave you a really bad town mission to start it out with. The level here gives you all the elements you need to know how Silver's gameplay works. Little areas to use your telekinetic powers to create platforms, crates to hit enemies with, and so on and so forth. During the stage, you'll swap over to Blaze the Cat, and I already mentioned that I think she's one of the best controlling characters in the game, which is always a nice thing to go through. So yeah, she basically is like Sonic, but a little faster, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mentioned that already. I don't know why I mentioned that again, but you know, my head's fucked up, that's all I can say. At the end of the stage, Silver and Blaze will come across Iblis, a giant flaming rock monster, which we actually saw him in the Sonic campaign, because it's called Worm at that point. But here, he has his full force. And he is a super easy boss fight. You just throw shit at him, and he's super slow. Like this guy, he moves incredibly slow, so basically, by the time he's even going to attack you, you basically already have attacked him like 50 times, because he sucks. Look at it. Look at this guy. Look at this doofus. Look at him pick up a building and toss it slowly at you. It is super hard to dodge. So yeah, this boss fight is super easy. Nothing more to say there. So yeah, Iblis is defeated yet again, but this makes Silver mad because he's tired of fighting the same boss fight over and over and over again. That is when an answer comes to Silver. It's Shadow, Mephiles. Yeah, this is Mephiles here. He looks like Shadow. Don't question it. He's like, I know what destroyed this world. I'll show you the answers, and you can save your future. Silver's a very trusting guy, so he believes this little guy, this evil-looking man, right away. And no, he doesn't question why this guy doesn't have a mouth. It's just something that I guess he assumes weird, gray creatures like this have.
As I have the power to travel through time.
No way!
No way! So Mephiles is like, yeah, I can travel through time, bitch. Can you? He's like, I'm gonna send you back in time, but you gotta kill this motherfucker. Here he is, the Iblis trick. He put his image into the Chaos Emerald, and it's Sonic, and you can tell he's evil because there's fire all around him.
I see it!
And Blaze is like, maybe I remember seeing a blue hedgehog. Maybe. I don't know if Sonic Rush is even canon in this game. It's come before or after, who the fuck knows. So Silver gets sent back to the past to play the shitty games that suck ass. He finds that he's in a completely different world than the one from he recognizes. He's in awe at the beauty of the past, and he loves it. But unfortunately, his future is always going to be shit. And his girlfriend Blaze is nowhere to be found. Well, friend and girl. They're not dating, I don't think. So yeah, Silver has to run around this giant field with his little slow stealth in order to find out where the Iblis trigger could possibly be. Keep in mind, right from the get-go, you find a shop you can buy some silver upgrades, so anyone playing this game can help you out here. These are pretty nice additions, allows you to have better telekinetic powers, so I recommend buying them as soon as you can. So yes, using your telekinetic powers, you can find the next area, which is right over here. That giant glowing silver ring is the guide, so Silver's going to head over to the silver ring because he likes silver things. After all, his name is Silver. This is Silver's tropical jungle, a completely different level than Sonic's, obviously. In this one, instead of running around with a broad in your hand swinging on vines, Silver is going through an open area with a bunch of platforms, logs, and of course, turtles, because who doesn't like giant turtles? Silver obviously likes giant turtles because he rides on their backs. Most interesting thing about this level is that there's plenty of areas where you can just skip past giant chunks of a level if you want to. However, your main goal is just to ride on the back of a turtle. Yeah, turtle time. I find this a little fun, especially all the alternate pathways, and it's pretty easy to get a hang of, and yeah, we just ended the level right now. We find that Blaze is over in the beach area, by the way. She's like, wow, this is kind of cool, I guess. I actually don't have that much purpose in this story, to be honest. But it doesn't matter because we get her version of Wave Ocean, where she's just going to run around to see if she can find Silver, and yeah, it's just Sonic's butt, with Blaze, and you know what, this level is really fun, so probably the best level in the game, other than Radical Terrain Sonic, but After that, we see that Silver is finally found Sonic, like the opening, but he's like, I'm gonna kill Sonic. But does he? Well, no. Silver actually fails because he's interrupted by Amy, who thinks that Silver is Sonic? I know Elise thought Silver looked like Sonic, but why does Amy think he looks like Sonic? He looks something like Sonic. Like, what the fuck? Is she stupid? So Amy decides that she's going to help Silver find the person she's looking for, who happens to also be the same person that she's looking for, who is Sonic. And I guess they, like Sonic, wait till morning in order to look for the same person because, I don't know, I guess they were just tired. But in order to do that, you need to talk to the same old man who, like I said, likes to bow to the sun. He's like, defeat robots, please! So that's what you do. You defeat robots because, I guess they don't have a lot of good support staff in Soliana. I mean, after all, the princess gets kidnapped every other day. And I thought the Mushroom Kingdom security system was bad. But once you do that, you get to go to Silver's most infamous level, Dusty Desert. Oh, in case you're wondering why we're here, is because Amy thinks that Sonic's presence is here. I don't know, she's psychic, I guess. Anyway, what makes Silver's Dusty Desert so infamous? Well, you're playing inside the desert the whole time, which is fine. However, it becomes pretty clear right from the get-go. Balls! Bomb! Billiard balls! The first thing you gotta do is hit them into each of the holes for some reason. And every time you hit them, the clock goes down. On all of them. I don't know how that works. It's dumb as shit, but well, this part isn't too hard. It's kind of stupid, but whatever. The rest of the level is just a platforming challenge, which is alright, like this little sand wave area, which is kind of interesting, but you can cheese your way through it if you know what to do. And we also get to play as Amy. Her section is incredibly short, and it kind of sucks, because Amy doesn't control that well, but oh well, it's mercifully short. So for the most part, this is a fine stage, so there's really isn't anything bad going on. The Amy section is short, even though she doesn't control that well. The rest of the level is fine. That is until you get to the very end. The ball puzzle. Yeah, the ball returns, and this time you gotta get to the final hole, while also avoiding the other holes. The mechanics of this thing, this was not play tested. This area here is the only instance where the level design is just fucking garbage. This area is just complete shit, and the fact that they added all these ramps in the PO6, the only time they actually changed the level design, showcases how bad this one area is. It is so tedious to do it, and you'll have to do it over and over again. That is, unless you do the glitch, which is what I did both times playing this game, because I'll be honest, this ball puzzle, it's bullshit. It sucks ass. Not that this glitch is any easier to do. Basically, at the end, the door is locked unless you put the ball in the hole at the end. But you can just kind of jump into it by using the boxes, and if you get it just right, you can clip through it. But yeah, this person here obviously did the ball puzzle, and that's why they're going to the goal ring. Following that, we see that Silver has made it up to Sonic, and yeah, going to the Dusty Desert is pretty much useless to him. But yeah, we get the same cutscene we saw with Sonic, so not much to see here. And this time, we get to fight Sonic. Is it going to be hard like it was against Silver? No, of course it isn't. We're playing as Silver in this boss fight, so it's going to be super easy. Sonic will just try to homing attack you, but you just throw a bunch of shit at him and he'll die. You can't throw him against the wall and say it's no use, or throw him into space, but yeah, this boss fight is super easy against Sonic. I mean, what you expect, you can telekinetically abuse him with all the furniture here. So yeah, this is not a challenge at all. So Silver tries to kill Sonic after realizing that he's a big giant pushover. And Amy gets in the way again. Also, Elise is kidnapped, but we don't give a shit about Elise in this storyline. Amy's like, why would you want to kill Sonic? And Silver's like, to save my future. And Amy's like, Sonic will never destroy the future. Your future is wrong. Think again, loser. And then Silver thinks about it. Is it really right to kill somebody for the sake of the world? So he starts to contemplate the morality of killing someone to save the world. And then Blaze is there, I guess. She finally caught up with Silver. Silver has an introspective dialogue about it. He tells Blaze about his skepticism, and Blaze's reaction is...
So naive.
Yeah, Blaze is just a bitch to Silver. Silver just asks her a question, and she's like, fuck you, dumbass. Of course it is. Fucking bitch. That was a joke, by the way. I'm not calling the character a bitch. Blaze, if cat fans don't attack, kill me. You also get a new upgrade at this point, so make sure you can buy that if you want to. It's always good to find it. This one's actually pretty useful. It's a Psy Shock. If you jump in the air and you hit the ground, and it can stun at multiple enemies at once. So very useful upgrade. Recommend getting it. And you have to anyway, because in order to get to the next level, you need to use it in order to get to the next level, which is Right Acropolis. You start this level out playing as Blaze. Alright, I imagine she's the best controlling character in the game, so that is fun as hell to control as. And we don't have to snowboard down here, we actually get to fight around here, this area, so that's nice. Of course, the goal here is to get into Eggman's base in order to see if you can find Sonic, because Blaze basically said, just kill him, who gives a shit, you're naive. And yeah, that's the main aspect of this level. This is definitely a better Silver level, after all, we get to play as Blaze, and the mechanics of this level work pretty well with his moveset. So White Acropolis is definitely one of the better Silver stages, that's for sure. At the end, we find the Egg Genesis boss, but now it's in White Acropolis. This boss fight works a little differently with Silver, after all, you can't just jump into it like Sonic can. Essentially what you gotta do is you gotta grab the missiles that it shoots at Silver, and then when you get the opportunity, you gotta hit it in its little red spot at the bottom there. I don't know why Eggman made such an obvious weak spot at the very bottom there. I guess he isn't that smart. It's alright and fun boss fight, but nothing too special to say here. It's pretty basic. You just get objects and throw it at the center. But hey, Silver finds a Chaos Emerald. That's pretty neat. So it's useful to have one of those. Blazing is one of them are, even though, like I said, if she's from our alternate dimension, she wouldn't even know what that is, because she knows about the Soul Emeralds, but whatever. Soul Gems, whatever they are. And she's like, they're a lucky charm, you should keep it. And he's like, wow, I should. And then we cut to Amy, who's just strolling along in Eggman's base. Somehow, she's looking for Sonic still. I don't know why she decides to look for Eggman's base, unless she wants to fight stuff, but whatever. Oh, and she finds Elise, who is just running out, because it's that easy to escape from Eggman's bases. Yes, apparently, Elise gets kidnapped in the middle of a Sonic campaign, but we don't even see it. That's how much she gets kidnapped. Even when we're not there, Elise gets saved and then kidnapped. Okay, here's the actual gameplay in this section. We're doing a town mission, and you gotta defeat robots so Elise can get back to her base, I guess. This is just really... I mean, this section is super fucking weird. Just the fact that Elise just walks out so easily. The fact that she talks about how she has a crush on Sonic, and Amy's like, go after him, even though she doesn't realize it's Sonic. It's fucking weird. Anyway, this area is pretty basic. You just walk around, there's only a couple of enemies to kill. And these crates here, blue ones, they actually cause a shockwave effect, you can see there. I didn't mention them before, but they appear throughout the levels, and they're okay. There's also fire crates. There's a lot of crates in this game, in case you couldn't tell. And they're very useful, you know. The blue ones cause shockwaves, and the fire ones cause a giant explosion. The gray one's just gray. And yeah, that's about it. So Amy helps her get to the castle again, and all is swell. Oh, just kidding. She gets kidnapped immediately after that. What was the point of this sequence? The world may never know. So yeah, back to Silver and Blaze. They talk to Mephiles. Mephiles is like reassures Silver that he has to do this, and he tells where Sonic is. He's like, get to work, bitch. And keep in mind, there's another upgrade to buy. Yes, this is a very important one. Well, not for the gameplay, but for gameplay-wise. The Heart of the Wind allows Silver to do a quick burst of speed, basically, which allows him to move faster through the levels. It doesn't work that great, but it's very useful, especially for going through areas a little quickly. Nice. Anyway, you're going through Radical Train in order to chase after Sonic. And yeah, this level's good even with Silver, though it's not as good as it is with Sonic. You gotta use crates in order to change the lifts here, which is kind of interesting. For the most part, you're mostly going through the same level as Sonic did, so you're mostly just destroying the enemies rather than chasing after a train, because, well, we're not chasing after a train, we're chasing after Sonic. So yeah, Radical Train is pretty short level for Silver. It's fun, but not as exciting as Sonic's version of the level. We have the cutscene where he catches up with Sonic, and during the Sonic cutscene, we get to see a little extended version of it. Of course, Silver tries to kill Sonic, but of course he gets interrupted by Shadow.
I'm Shadow. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Silver is initially confused, thinking that Shadow is Mephiles, but Silver's like, alright, get out of my way, I'm gonna fight you, bitch. And that is the boss fight between Shadow. Now, this boss fight is a little harder than Sonic's, but at the same time it's pretty easy. Shadow's got a little bit more attacks, but at the same time you just throw barrels at him and he'll go down. Not too hard. Sorry, Shadow, but you got to get hit by the barrels. So it seems like Silver won the fight, but it turns out he didn't, because Shadow does this against him.
Chaos control!
Yeah, Shadow just kicks him in the back of the head. I love that scene so much. It's so awesome. But Silver's like, I got Chaos Emerald too, so I'll use the same move you used. And no one questions this. People complain, oh, Sonic used Chaos Control as Retro 2, you shouldn't be able to do that. Well, who cares? Maybe it's an easy move to use. Silver does the same exact move out using it ever before, but he does it against Shadow and no one complains about it. Whatever. And in fact, they do this, Shadow's like, you know what? We can use Chaos Control to go back to the certain time point, even though they didn't even know they're transferring to a certain time. I don't know how these time portals work, but Shadow's like, I'm going to show you the past, so maybe you can change your mind about killing Sonic. And yeah, that's what they do. So they end up in the next stage, and in the past, which showcases the old king of Soliana, who's trying to use the light of Solaris, which is the former form of Iblis and Mephiles, in case you didn't know, but we don't really get to know much about it until this point. He's like, I want to use you! We don't know why he wants to use him until the very end of the game. And then his daughter, Elise, walks in for some reason. I don't know how she was able to even get to this area. What the fuck? What was she doing there? It makes no sense. Anyway, Shadow and Silver finally see the birth of Iblis and Mephiles, because it turns out that just the machine fucked it up and made split up the two of Solaris into a giant molten lava form that has no brain, and a brainy Shadow form that has no body. The king's like, I fucked up, but use this scepter to seal it in. Shadow's like, okay. So the rest of the stage is just the aquatic base that Sonic played through, except we're playing in the past, so there's no Eggman robots, but a bunch of Iblis worms. And you can play a Shadow. I don't know why they do this in these games, but yes. I don't know why I keep saying these games. In this game, what I meant to say, where you play as a character in the other campaign, even though you haven't played that character before. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but Shadow, his section is really short here, so it doesn't really matter that much anyway. Silver's aquatic base has a lot more puzzle solving, like most of its levels do anyway, and a lot more enemies to kill than Sonic's, but that's to be given at this point. While it uses most of the same layout as Sonic's, there is a lot more platforming and fighting of bosses here than there was in the Sonic's level version of the level. And Silver walks on a giant ball slowly. He should like it because Silver like him, but this ball is stupid as hell. Anyway, once you make it past, we see that Silver's helping the king out. He's like, I know the perfect vessel to put Iblis. My daughter! What a better thing to do to my great daughter that I love so much is by sealing a giant flame demon inside of her. Father of the year, everybody. Just kidding, this guy fucking sucks. But you can also use these smaller balls to hit against enemies. And I don't know what these silver balls are even supposed to be, but they're there, they're magnetic. I guess they thought their reflection was a really cool effect, so that's why they have so many of them in this level. It's okay effect, I guess, but not really that great. And yeah, I think the reason he does it is because they're royal blood and that bullshit. Even though royal blood means jack shit to me, but whatever. He does this. He should have thought of this earlier. And why is his fucking daughter downstairs anyway? The king's like, take care of my daughter because I guess I'm gonna die now. And I guess she remembers his words, you know, she's asleep here, about not crying, because if she cries, she will release Iblis. And I guess she doesn't care about her dad, 'cause she doesn't cry after he dies.
Where am I? Where's my dad?
I'm afraid I have some bad news. Don't, please don't cry. I'll do anything. Just don't. No!
So that's what realistically would have happened, but Sonic 06 doesn't really fall in realism, even though it's supposed to be Sonic in the real world, whatever. So Silver and Shadow, after learning about the origins of Mephiles and Iblis, decide to go back to the future, well, the present, I guess, and set things right. But Silver decides he's going to leave his Chaos Emerald to Elise. It makes no sense. Apparently she had it the whole time. That's how she had the Chaos Emerald to begin with. I know it's supposed to be a soft reboot, but it's stupid as hell. When Silver comes back to the present, he hears a bunch of people talking, and there's nobody there. And Blaze is like, well, what are you doing? There's a princess there. So now Silver finds his new purpose, which is to help Sonic save the princess, because she's going to be the cause of the death of the future, I guess. This story is really complicated. Even the writer said this story is way too fucking complicated when trying to piece it together. It probably needs a rewrite, but like I said, this game was rushed. What do you expect? It was rushed more than Sonic Rush. In order to get the next level, you have to do a little town mission that's required to protect a little bitch there, which you just saw, and then we can finally go on to the next stage, which is Kingdom Valley, but unfortunately, we had to do more fucking tests. These fucking priests are dumbass tests. The guy wants to test your friendship. And basically, the test of friendship is just destroy the Iblis monsters in order to save your friend Blaze. Why wouldn't Silver want to do that? He's not a fucking jackass. Also, how did Blaze get trapped in the container anyway? I guess I'm not going to explain that. Next is the Trial of Heart. And this one is basically, you just defeat enemies without crates. So, it's not really that hard since all these enemies have missiles and you got the ground stomp move which stuns them. Whatever. And the next trial is a trial of memory, where you gotta memorize shit. And, yeah, why the fuck are they testing his memory? They're just trying to go to Old Castle. He's fucking asshole priest. Priests are fucking jackasses. I wonder why they do a trial of love for Silver. Guess they don't give a shit about that aspect. Anyway, Silver finally gets to Kingdom Valley, and he's there to help Sonic save Elise, which I already talked about in the Sonic playthrough, so let's get into it. There isn't a whole lot to say about Silver's Kingdom Valley. In fact, we played a little bit of Silver in Sonic's Kingdom Valley. And most of it is just using the basic platforming skills we've seen with Silver, as well as telekinetic abilities, and defeating lots of enemies. Though we do get these pendulums, which you can use to break apart parts of the tower. That's kind of neat. In inverse to Silver's Kingdom Valley is that we get to play as Sonic for a little bit. You know, maybe we should have had this Sonic section in the Sonic level, and this Silver section in the Silver section, but whatever. There isn't much to say about Silver's Kingdom Valley. It's about the same as Sonic's, just with a lot more missiles. So much like in the Sonic playthrough, Elise dies, but Sonic goes back in time to save her, and then Silver and Blaze are like, well, let's go back to our time, I guess. Who gives a shit? So even though the timeline's fucked up still, Silver decides not to help Sonic out, because I guess he goes by his word and says, what if I seal Iblis in myself these 2 Chaos Emeralds? And Blaze is like, okay, well, we'll try it. I guess Silver's tired of time traveling. It's like, fuck it, this is not going to get solved unless I do it my way. I guess that kind of works, but then again, he has infinite time travel with the Chaos Emeralds there, so I don't know why he doesn't try going to different time spots, but whatever. So yeah, I guess you can tell Silver's final level is Flame Core. And it's an alright level. Basically, you're doing the same things you've done in the previous Silver levels. There's not a whole lot to say here, since I talked about the level with Sonic's gameplay, and I talked about Silver's gameplay style. So, at the same time, there's not a whole lot to commentate here. Most of the time, you're throwing boxes at enemies, and that's most of the game. Like in Sonic's gameplay, you go inside the volcano, and it gets a little dark and stuff like that. The only problem with this final level is like Sonic, where you play as the other 2 characters you played along the way. You don't play as Blaze. I know Amy makes no sense, but Blaze is right there. Why are we not playing as her? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter that much, but yeah, like I said, she is the best character to play as in the game, so that kind of sucks. But now, we got Silver's final boss. It's Iblis, Phase 3. Look at his face, he's so derpy. And basically, this boss fight is really similar to the first one, except it's slightly harder, and he moves slightly faster, and it's in a volcano. Basically, you're doing the same thing you did in the other boss fight, but you're just throwing rocks, molten rocks at him inside a volcano rather than inside of a city. And he shoots ray beams at you. Ooh. And at one point, he throws a giant rock at you, but you can just grab it and throw it back at him. Sorry, but that's cool as shit. And he also will try to attack you and destroy the platform around you, but you just go on top of his head and use your telekinetic powers to give him a headache. Well, the original Iblis boss fight sucked. This one's definitely an improvement, just to how cool it is, and just throwing a giant rock and giving him a headache is just, that's cool boss design, let's be honest. After this boss, Silver tries to seal Iblis inside himself, but it doesn't go to plan at all. Blaze decides, fuck you, Silver, I'm doing this, and the reason why she's able to do it because she has flames inside her soul, and this transports her to like a different dimension. So I guess that's the origin of Sonic Rush. They literally say she's going to seal them in a different dimension, so I guess that's how she was in her own dimension. That's my headcanon. This makes Silver sad because Blaze is his only friend and he cries. I mean, I guess you would cry too if you're a hot purple cat girlfriend was going away to a different dimension. You're gonna be left alone.
I wouldn't know what to do without you. You fought alongside me to save the world. You're my friend, right?
So Blaze friend zones Silver as she goes to the alternate dimension, saying that she will remember him, sealing Iblis away, and temporarily getting rid of the monster from the future timeline. So now Sunshine is finally given to the city that was destroyed. Iblis monsters are completely gone, and Silver is left just wondering what's going to happen next in his own future. He kind of saved the day, but he lost his friend, and there was nobody else to celebrate it with him. Wah, wah. The credits play, and they play Silver's theme, which is Dreams of Absolution, which is a big word for a kid's game. But yeah, this game, he calls this game a kid's game because it has an E rating. But yeah, this theme plays, and I liked it a lot as a kid, but it's really cheesy, and it's very synth-heavy. Not synth-heavy, but it's very techno, which I guess fits Silver's future theme. And it's kind of goofy, but I kind of enjoy it. And that was the Silver campaign. Definitely had an improved story, but it's still a little clunky overall. He got some questions answered, and Silver is an interesting and compelling character, and he of course become a mainstay in the series. His gameplay is alright. I know it's not the best in the world, but it's unique for the Sonic series, and definitely will be interesting to see a return to this character. Not the character, but his actual gameplay style. Silver and Amy are the two characters that I think should deserve their own game, because I feel like they could do a lot of interesting things with them. I know Knuckles technically didn't have his own game. He technically did, but he also could be interesting. But for some reason I like those two. I feel like Silver's redo of his gameplay style could definitely be interesting in his retelling of his future. But anyway, that was Silver's storyline, so let's go on to the main event, Shadow's storyline. The best storyline, story-wise, not gameplay-wise. Alright, next stop is Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh yeah. So Shadow's gameplay is kind of a mix between the two gameplays level-wise, between Sonic and Silver. He's got the speed and style of Sonic, while it's in the puzzle and platforming elements of Silver. And that makes him kind of a unique character to play as. I've talked about him before, obviously, and obviously his vehicles are terrible, but for the most part his levels are fine, though they actually go on a lot longer than the other characters because of his stupid vehicles that he's forced to use. Early on in the stage, we'll be swapping over to Rouge, who is the agent that Shadow was looking for. Of course, she was getting a scepter for gun, and her main goal now is to get rid of all these searchlights using her bombs. Shadow and Rouge meet up in this open area where you're supposed to destroy all the searchlights with this dumbass thing here. Of course, in Project 06, you don't have to do that. I keep mentioning Project 06 without actually talking about it, but I'm going to talk about that near the end of the video. Alright, guys? Alright? And yeah, this section, you actually have to destroy all the searchlights because there's no goal ring in this level. It's actually kind of strange, actually. It's the only time in this game where the only way to beat a level is actually by completing a goal, like it's Team Chaos or something. So Shadow crosses his arms at Rouge, thinking like, yeah, you are not very good at your job, so they had to call me in. But then suddenly the Egg Cerberus comes and wants to attack Shadow. Once again, it's not a Cerberus, I don't know why they call it that. And this boss fight is pretty much the same as it was before in the Sonic campaign. It's slightly different, but not noteworthy enough, so we'll just go past it. Once they're out of there, they're in this weird little base that showcases Soliana. Shadow's like, well, okay, whatever. So anyway, in order to get in contact with Gun, they gotta go to Kingdom Valley. I have no idea why Gun chose an abandoned castle as the rendezvous point, but I guess they wanted to be secretive. And you're gonna need to buy some upgrades in order to get past. The air chip is basically Shadow's light speed dash, and there's the optional blue chip, which makes his Chaos Blast power more powerful. Yeah, he can charge up his meter. I didn't mention this during this gameplay. On the bottom right, which you've seen the whole time. And that goes up by hitting the enemies, and once it gets powered up, he can press RT, and he becomes all red, and becomes more powerful, I guess. It doesn't really work that well. And if you charge it up enough, you can do a Chaos Blast, kind of, but not really. It doesn't really work that well, so it's not really noteworthy. But you can use it to go past these rocks and jump into this teleporter, which takes you to Kingdom Valley. No stupid test! You start off with the hang glider section, which you can just do nothing if you want to. It lasts 20 seconds, so it's up to you. Do you want to shoot up some robots, or you just want to do nothing? We're then introduced to Kingdom Valley proper, where you actually immediately go to playing as Rouge the Bat here, who has to find keys, and this area is open. In fact, it basically plays like a treasure hunting stage, except the keys are always in the same spot in this one. Of course, PO6 changed that drastically to actually be more like the treasure hunting stages of the ye old Onder. This area would be fun, the only problem is that there's a lot of wall here and Rouge gets stuck to the walls incredibly easy, so keep that in mind when you're playing this stage. Just try to avoid the walls. There's 3 keys to find, and once you do that, you can finally play as Shadow again. Shadow's Kingdom Valley is very difficult, mostly because there's so much shit going on. You got a hang glider, Rouge section, and of course a hovercraft vehicle. This section I mentioned during the Shadow gameplay is incredibly annoying, and I hate it, like, a lot. Like, this section is terrible. This is the area where I would say the most the bug and janks of Sonic 06 comes out here, because this thing is not controlled very well, and everything here kills you so easily. Most of the game, like I said, isn't that bad or janky, really. I think it's overhyped, but this one section definitely is. Though once you're done with that, you get to play Kingdom Valley proper, which is definitely a much better stage than that. It's not the best version of Shadow playing for this stage, because now we got Sonic X Shadow's Generations version of the level, which is amazing.
Let's get moving!
I don't know why Shadow is so animate on getting moving, but he says that with such ferocity. I also gotta mention, now that I think about Shadow's voice lines are funny, every time Shadow dies in the game, it is so funny. Every time he dies, he goes, "No!" And you might die a lot, and hearing that always cracks me up, even if, like, I fucked up a level. It's like, I can't help but laugh. It's just, his no is so funny. Anyway, Shadow and Rouge made it to the rendezvous point, looking for GUN. But unfortunately for them, Eggman crashes the party. He's like, "You guys stole that from me, and now I want it back." But during an encounter, Rouge drops it, and it crashes to the ground.
Shadow!
It's no use! Pull back! Pull back! Pull back!
So the thing inside the scepter is none other than Mephiles the Dark, who is formless until he takes on Shadow's shadow, which is the most clever thing ever. He's literally Shadow's shadow, except he has no mouth.
Ironic fate can be. I would never have believed I would be resurrected through your shade. I thank you, Shadow the Hedgehog. Mephiles the Dark. Did you forget me? I owe much to you, Shadow. Oh yes. What you gave to me, I now return to you.
Yes, they play the music every time Mephiles is on screen, and I love the overdramatic music Mephiles theme has. It's so great. Mephiles then sends Shadow and Rouge back into the future. And that's where they end up in Crisis City, and that's how they met Sonic and his friends, Team Sonic. Shadow is very confused by that creature that took on his form, and now he wants to come back at him. Something about Mephiles speaks to him. Anyway, he and Rouge access the computer to find out where they are. They quickly find Team Sonic, and they talk about the Chaos Control power, which, how does Shadow know about that at this point? He just assumes that they can do it. So both Sonic and Shadow just assume that, hey, if we collect Chaos Emeralds, we can just time travel. Whatever. We now go to Shadow's Crisis City. Sorry, don't excuse the vehicle there. He's having some malfunction there. But unfortunately for you, you don't have to use the vehicle, but if you want to, you can for this area. This is Sonic's snowboarding area, but now it's Shadow's it's not even an ATV. I don't know what the fuck the vehicle name is. You tell me in the comment section below. Give me some support. Though I don't recommend using this vehicle, because as you can see from the gameplay, this thing does not control very well. Why is he even in a vehicle? He can run faster than the vehicle, can he? Anyway, the rest of the level is much like Sonic's Crisis City, except with Shadow, which means more combat and a little bit more puzzle solving. And of course, they found a Chaos Emerald, and Rouge gets really happy because I guess she really loves Chaos Emeralds. I don't know why I said I guess, she obviously does. But then they found Omega, who's all destroyed and beat up. And Shadow gets a little sad seeing his friend die in the future. Then we get the cutscene that you've seen in the Sonics where Rouge says, "Here's a Chaos Emerald, you bitches, I got it for you." And I gotta mention, they really made Rouge's model incredibly busty in this game. Like, holy shit, it's the exact opposite of the Sonic X Shadow Generation model. Like, geez Louise, they didn't need to go that hard. I guess some Bugatti was modeling with one hand. Anyway, much like Sonic Shadow's next level is Flame Core. And there's not a whole lot to say of this level. It's mostly the same as we've seen before. You know, it's Sonic's Flame Core with Shadow. Shadow's version of the level is much shorter since he doesn't swap between characters like Sonic does. And overall, it's about the same, just with Shadow. After Flame Core, you get the same thing that happened with Sonic. They see another Chaos Emerald. Shadow says, "Don't touch it," but she touches anyway, and we have to fight the Iblis Worm guy. It's the same boss fight, but with Shadow. It sucked with Sonic, and it sucks with Shadow. Anyway, when they get the Chaos Emeralds, they create a time portal. We finally get to see what Shadow and Rouge are doing. So Rouge is going to go in the portal, but then Shadow hesitates as he hears a familiar presence. Mephiles, who sent him to the future in the first place. Mephiles just stands there, menacingly! And Shadow's like, "I'm gonna go after this dude instead." Which means that Rouge goes to the future alone. But she gets a new information from GUN to find the other agent, which is Omega. I guess Omega works for Gun too. Team Dark just likes GUN, I guess. You automatically go to the jungle level, which I immediately... Tropical Jungle, right? That's what it's called? Yeah, Tropical Jungle. This level is actually incredibly easy since Rouge can just fly and glide everything and go to the goalpost in like 5 seconds. But, you know, if you want to explore, yes you can. But you don't have to because the level is super short. I don't have much to say about the level. There's like... It's open-ended, and the fact that Rouge can just glide over the whole thing makes it incredibly easy. So Rouge finds Omega, and she's like, "Alright, I'm gonna give you a Chaos Emerald. You're gonna shut down and wait 200 years to help Shadow." Kind of redundant, but yeah, I guess you saw that Omega was fine in the future. He just sat there. As he was sitting there the whole time because, you know, Rouge told him to sit there. It's kind of insane, actually, but whatever. Anyway, back in the future, Shadow confronts Mephiles. Mephiles is like, "Shadow, join me because people turn against you, and here's the evidence." Apparently, the pod is still there that Shadow is trapped in, that they enslaved him in. I don't know why it's floating. But basically, during the events of when Iblis destroyed the world, they blamed Shadow initially for it, and they encapsulated him. And Mephiles is using this to basically make Shadow join his side because he wants the ultimate life form to help him destroy the world. It doesn't really work that way. Mephiles forgot that Shadow the Hedgehog game came out already, and Shadow's like, "Fuck you, dude."
Come with me, Shadow. Let us punish this foolish world of humanity. It's only fair to give back what was intended for you. You have every right to want justice.
Whatever it is you want to do, you can do it alone.
You forgive humanity this folly, then?
I determine my own destiny.
So yes, we got our first boss fight against the main villain of Sonic 06. Yeah, no one else but Shadow fights Mephiles. That's why Mephiles, I guess, is Shadow's villain. I mean, he looks like Shadow. And yeah, Mephiles' true form is this weird crystal version of Shadow, and I love the design. It's so bizarre, but so cool. Basically, Mephiles is getting more form, basically, from, I guess, energy? I don't know how it works. Anyway, Shadow's got to defeat all these little minions that he creates in order to attack Mephiles, because Mephiles is, well, his shadow right now, which is kind of a cool effect. And after a while, Mephiles will finally appear, and you gotta attack him across all these little minions that are trying to stop you from doing so. There's quite a lot. Jeez Louise, this guy creates so much shit of himself. He's an egomaniac. So after you fight Mephiles, he turns out he's a lot more powerful than he looks as he hits Shadow against a rock, and Shadow makes the same face Sonic made earlier on in the video. But guess who's here to save Shadow? Omega. He finally powered on to save Shadow, because he was following his mission that took 200 years to do. It's kind of, that's still really B, but whatever. This is the first time he actually plays Omega is during a boss fight, and like I said, he controls pretty fine, nothing too spectacular, but his main gimmick is that he shoots a bunch of bullets, and that makes his boss fight section pretty easy, actually, because, you know, he can shoot a bunch of the enemies. Even though Mephiles was defeated in this fight, he's not gone for good, as he creates another time portal for him to go into, and of course Shadow and Omega chase after him. It looks like they're too late, as Mephiles is nowhere to be seen. Oh well, I guess they can try to find him, but he's kind of a hard guy to find. Also, you can find another memory shard at this point in time, so go to the shop if you want to buy that. At this point, you also meet up with Rouge, who's in this garage area, pretty easy to find. So this whole cutscene is basically saying that Shadow is like, I'm gonna go after Eggman since he wants to know something about Mephiles that I don't, and that will help me defeat Mephiles, because I hate him. He took my appearance and now he's gonna die. And the next level, of course, is gonna be Radical Train. Shadow's version of Radical Train is pretty much incredibly similar to Sonic's. There's actually very little even say about it, because the first section pretty much plays exactly as it did in Sonic's version of the campaign. There's only one really big difference here, is that instead of a Mach speed section, we have a motorcycle section, which, unfortunately, even though you can jump off it, you have to use, because you have to shoot the Eggman's train here in order to get onto the train, if that makes sense. You shoot the train to get on the train. Shadow just get information off Eggman. Eggman's like, do this shit for me and I'll help you out, which means nothing because we never see Eggman again in this storyline. Oh well. After jumping off Eggman's train, Shadow sees Silver and Sonic fighting and decides to help out Sonic because Sonic is his best bud. And now we gotta fight Silver in the same battle area that Silver fought Shadow. Silver is basically the same AI as he was against Sonic, so you gotta use the same tactics against him. There's a lot more area to run around in this time, so he can't really trap you as easily as he could with Sonic, if that makes any sense. Overall, you just wait for him to have his little dialogue thing, and then you go over there and you just like knee him in the knees, and there you go, pretty easy. And I gotta show you Shadow kicking him in the head again, because that's so good. Just look at that. Chaos Control, and he hits him in the head. Awesome. So Shadow goes back in time, we learn, because he wants to learn more about Solaris, which helps him to fight Mephiles later on, and basically the same cutscene we saw with Silver, where the king does his bullshit, which leads into Shadow's aquatic base. Pretty much the same as we saw with Sonic and Silver. It's actually more like Silver's than Sonic's. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of difference between the stage design with the characters, really. There's slight differences, but the main overall theming is pretty much the same here. Though you do temporarily take control of Silver, like you do take control of Shadow during Silver's campaign. Like I said, I don't understand the idea of swapping between main characters like in their other levels. It's a really dumb idea, to be honest, but they're short. But like, what's the point? So going back in the past helps Shadow figure out how he's going to stop Mephiles, and he and Rouge go on to find where Omega is, because Omega has found Mephiles. Anyway, Omega's in Wave Ocean, so that's where Shadow and Rouge head next. Shadow's Wave Ocean is actually kind of unique, so I get to talk about it a bit more. We got another hang glider area. Lovely. I think there's one in Crisis City that skipped over, but oh well. This glider section lasts a lot longer, as we even go through a cave. Cool. We then swap over to Omega, who's on the search for Mephiles here. His gameplay is very unique, as I mentioned, because no one else really controls Omega. He has blaster shots, and he can glide infinitely, which is really funny. Because we're near Mephiles, we're actually not fighting Eggman robots in this area, we're actually fighting a bunch of Iblis worms that he creates, and his Iblis worms are usually purple, because he's purpley. After that section, we play a Shadow in an open area where you gotta find keys in order to unlock this certain way to get past. It's kind of unique, but it's kind of annoying at the same time. It's not really that well designed, but it is incredibly different, unique, because no one else plays for this area of Wave Ocean. In fact, Silver's campaign, he barely even touches Wave Ocean, because Blaze just goes there and shit laxes for a little bit. Well, Shadow actually has a whole level there, unlike, Silver. And of course, it ends with my favorite thing, the hovercraft. Actually, this section is a lot easier than it was in in Kingdom Valley. In fact, Kingdom Valley is one of the hardest Shadow levels, and it's like the second level he plays through. Kind of funny when you think about it that way. Oh well. And when you get to the goal ring, of course, the thing speeds off at the background. I don't know why that's so funny. Literally, it's right there. Look at it. Anyway, Omega is shooting a bunch of bullets into Mephiles, who just laughs it off. Also, Mephiles reveals something to Omega that saddens him very deeply. It turns out that in the future, Omega is the one to help imprison Shadow, and they all get sad, including Omega. I don't know how he was able to imprison Shadow if he was already in the future by Rouge, but whatever. I guess his other form did that. And yeah, this makes Shadow incredibly sad that his friend was going to be the one to imprison him.
Even if you believe everyone in the world will be against you, know that I'll always remain by your side. Remember that.
Well, that's pretty nice of Rouge. I didn't think she had a soft spot in her, but it turns out she does.
I will.
Anyway, Shadow's got the scepter now, and he's going to take down Mephiles, but of course he's seeing all these Iblis things against him before he can get there. Of course, Shadow and his team, Dark, are on the move, and they're ready to attack anything in their way. So you start off this area with the hovercraft. Why? And you gotta go through pillars in order to get to the area. Oh boy. I don't like this hovercraft, so let's skip it. Anyway, Shadow's Dusty Desert's also pretty unique. It's the final level of his campaign. So he plays kind of the inside cave like Silver, except he plays kind of more action-y areas, unlike Silver, who just fucked around with balls. In the cave, you also play as Omega, who has to take a bunch of robots down. And there's a bunch of sections of Omega here that suck. This level is not very fun, to be honest. However, you can cheese some of the Omega areas, because, as you can see here, he can just infinitely hover, which makes this section a lot easier than it was supposed to be. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of Shadow's Dusty Desert. There's a lot of annoying things. It's just a gauntlet of just smashing the A button over and over again. Definitely one of his weakest levels. So anyway, Shadow and his gang finally find Mephiles, and Shadow's ready to destroy him.
I'll make sure you regret this, Shadow the Hedgehog.
So yes, the final boss against Mephiles. The floor is all jelly, and he is, well, impossible to hit. So what do you gotta do? Well, he's gonna send a bunch of little minions after you, and you gotta hit the minions to fill up your rage meter, I guess. That's what I'll call it. The meter on the right bar. Though Mephiles will showcase his true form here, with all these weird googly goo stuff here. But if you hit that enough times, it'll give you enough energy crystals to basically become super powered. And once you do that, you get rid of all the little gook there, and you're able to actually hit him, and you just beat the shit out of him. Like, Shadow's like really shows him what he really feels about Mephiles, which is not very much. He hates this guy. I think we already established how much he hates this motherfucker. And yeah, this is a pretty interesting but pretty simple boss fight. Nothing too spectacular going on here. It's pretty fun and overall exciting. Once the boss fight's done, Shadow will try to seal Mephiles into the scepter once again. But it fails. Mephiles has gone too strong, and now he can even reject the scepter itself.
The Eye of Now absorbed your power through your shadow in the past. What may have worked 10 years ago no longer does. The world will betray you. Why fight at all? Why risk your life for those who will persecute you later?
If the world chooses to become my enemy, I will fight like I always have.
Oh yeah, Shadow could take off his rings on his hands, because they were inhibitor rings, and he's more powerful. It's never really explained, though it is mentioned in a recent Sonic game, and yeah, he's gonna fight Mephiles, and that's how the game ends for Shadow. All Hail Shadow, in fact. All Hail Shadow was a song that originally featured in Shadow the Hedgehog. However, this time it's covered by Crush 40, and this version of the theme song will become Shadow's main theme throughout the entire games. His world's great, but only is in Sonic 06 is Sonic's main theme, and Tears of Evolution is good, and it's also Silver's main theme still, but, you know, Silver doesn't really appear that often. This theme is the main boss theme in the newest Sonic game, that's how good it is. Take a listen to probably one of the best Sonic songs, and I don't think it is the best, but it's definitely up there. And that was the Shadow storyline. Definitely the best when it comes to this terms of story. It definitely has a little bit of issues, but Shadow's play against Mephiles and his friends backing him up and him growing from the past games is definitely a highlight of the game. Especially the voice acting is definitely the strongest here, other than Omega, who sounded a little off. I don't know what the hell they were doing with his voice. But other than that, the story is pretty great, and it doesn't have that time travel problem as much because Shadow doesn't really have any need to time travel. He just needs to find Mephiles, who can be really anywhere. So it's not like Silver or Sonic where they can just time travel the hell they want to fix all their issues. It's not something that really needs to be done here. And Shadow seems to be on top of everything, and he seems to be in charge of his own destiny, which makes him a more interesting, compelling character than the other two. But yeah, that was Shadow's gameplay. Is also pretty fine. It's nothing spectacular. In fact, it might be the worst one in the game for me, because there's like a lot of hiccups in the road. But it's definitely fine. It's not as good as Sonic, and Silver I think is slightly more consistent. But yeah, they're all good in my opinion. I don't have that many problems with the actual gameplay itself. It's fun, and for the most part, there's not a whole lot of issues. there is a little bit of glitchiness, but the glitches, I don't find a whole lot of them. Like I said, I think I died more by glitches in Sonic Heroes than in Sonic 06. But anyway, it's time for the last episode. Let's see what happens. We start with Mephiles, who has a purple Chaos Emerald. I guess he was able to get one after fighting Shadow. We don't see what happens at the end of that boss fight. But Mephiles, he's got some dark planning. His theme plays, and he looks in the camera menacingly. So Sonic and Elise are just casually walking through the area. It's like, yeah, I saved you. We're all good. And then they see a random weird strobe effect that gives people seizures, and then Mephiles appears behind Sonic, and he does something that I don't think anyone was expecting when they were playing this game. Yes, this game quite literally just kills Sonic. Mephiles just killed Sonic. Like, holy shit. This guy wanted this guy to die by getting Silverdale. He's like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Like, he's Thanos or something. This would be more impactful if Mephiles interacted with Sonic in any bit of form, but he doesn't really. And so Mephiles just stands there and laughs his ass off as Sonic is dead at the hands of his own hands. So yes, Mephiles did what Eggman can't, which is kill Sonic. And this makes Elise cry like a little bitch. She didn't cry when her dad died, but she did cry when the blue hedgehog died. No! Yes, that's her crying. Like I said, Lacey Chever is not, I don't know what's her last name, is not a good at voice acting. So Mephiles is finally able to reunite with Iblis, even though he could have done that with time travel, couldn't he? Like, go to the future or the past? Why does he need to do it at the very moment? They never really explained that aspect. Oh well.
It's time for the final curtain call!
And unfortunately, this is the last time we're going to see Mephiles, because he becomes Solaris, and Solaris is not the same thing as Mephiles. You should know that. It's nowhere near as cool. So yeah, Mephiles and Iblis are formed and going back into Solaris, which is able to fuck with space-time continuum and basically erasing the past, present, and future, and all the characters around there. If you're strolling around Soliana like with no care in the world, like your Knuckles, Amy, and Tails, for some reason, like what the fuck were they doing there? Then you are fucked. These characters are more fucked than they were in Sonic Adventure 1 when Station Square was destroyed. So now all the main characters are in this little void here, except for Blaze. I guess she's in alternate dimensions, so she doesn't count. So yeah, everyone, even Eggman, who's now, I guess, on the good side, he's like explaining everything that everything's fucked. And they're like, oh, well, that sucks. And they all cry, seeing Sonic's dead corpse. It's a sad moment. All the characters' reaction to the Sonic, who had changed their lives and were best friends of him, they all shed tears because it's such a giant loss. Even Shadow uncrosses his arms in sadness. And then Eggman's like, Mephiles played us all for fools. Like, how do you play you for a fool, Eggman? You're just doing your own bullshit the whole time. Like, what do you got to do with this storyline?
No, I won't give up. There has to be a way. You say it exists in the past, present, and future? I'll destroy them all at once.
Certainly. It might have been possible if he was still alive.
So yeah, Sonic, he's dead, so I guess they can't do it. But then Elise is like, oh, I feel Sonic's presence in the wind. And they're like, well, maybe we can resurrect Sonic with the power of the Chaos Emeralds. Because, you know, the Chaos Emeralds are the solution to everything in these games. You should know that by now. But how do they know where the Chaos Emeralds are? Well, Eggman has tech in his glasses. You didn't know that? He has tech in his glasses the whole time. He had the Apple eyeglass, where the fuck that stupid thing is, the whole time. So all the characters are going to go out to find a Chaos Emerald to save Sonic's life. So they all go out, except for Knuckles, who runs the wrong way because he's a fucking idiot. I guess Eggman's not doing jack shit either. Anyways, the final level, the end of the world, where you play sections of each of the stages from the game as the 7 different characters to find the Chaos Emerald. Unfortunately, the only character you won't be playing as is Blaze, because she's not there. And yeah, the main gimmick of this is that the world is being destroyed apart, and Mephiles' eyes are coming out, or Solaris' eyes are coming out and ripping apart the space-time continuum unless you hit these, like, eagle statues, which is actually kind of a fun dynamic. Now this stage is hard, but I really like the idea and concept of it. You're basically playing snippets of each of the levels while it's getting destroyed and pulled apart, and these little eyes here, they're always watching you, or basically destroying it, and you gotta restore it a little bit at a time while finding Chaos Emerald. It's not too hard, in fact Tails' section's pretty easy, that just got over that quickly. And so is Omega, because, you know, he can just use his jetpack area. It's cool because each of the sections here, you get to play as them for a different character that weren't playable during that level to begin with. Like, Tails wasn't playable in Crisis City, and Omega wasn't in Flame Core. And yes, the Methless eyes are definitely very annoying to deal with sometimes, but they actually make a very unique and difficult challenge to deal with that I actually like doing. As long as you memorize where they're going to appear, they're not too hard, but they do have a very strong vacuum feature that is kind of annoying, but at the same time, it's kind of unique. Knuckles' section is pretty basic. You just kind of glide over to the Chaos Emerald. It's a little difficult because Knuckles' glide feels way worse than Rouge. But as long as you hit the eagle statues in just the right time, you should be able to do just fine and avoid all those little eyes staring at you. Silver's section in Dusty Desert is definitely the longest here because, one, he's not as fast as the other characters and he can't get away with flying around through the stage. But it's okay. He plays through the Sonic section of the level, which he wasn't able to play through before. This is definitely the most difficult section of the level because it lasts for a lot longer and these things just suck you through and you just gotta run past them. Next is Rouge, who is in Wave Ocean. This one's pretty easy since all you gotta do is climb on top of these things and then just fly off to the next one. And yeah, that makes Rouge's section pretty easy to do. Just keep flying to the next one. You can't hit some of the eagle statues, but this one is super easy. You shouldn't have any problem with this area. Next up, you play as Amy in White Acropolis. Her section is short, but much like her rest of the gameplay, she does not control that well, and these eyes can suck her in pretty easily since she's the slowest character in the game. That sucks, but the level is pretty short. And once you get past these two Iblis dogs here, and you just hit them with your hammer, you should be fine and ready to go. Shell's part isn't too difficult. In fact, this area level, while it can be considered hard, I think it's a really cool gauntlet area. If the game controlled a little better, I think no one would really complain about it. I think it's a really cool concept. It's all the levels getting destroyed before your eyes. This is a unique concept, and I do like the execution for the most part. The last part of the section is Shadow, who plays Sonic's part of Kingdom Valley here. In this part, I did have a little difficulty because I was trying to do a shortcut and I ended up dying multiple times like an idiot, but that's okay. Anyway, if all the 7 Chaos Emeralds, Elise does a chant to bring Sonic back to life using the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds to hopefully restore Sonic. And, you know, it's a nice thing. Sonic getting restored by the power of his friends and all that, or saving the gems. No way this ending could have anything that would be fucking weird and stupid as hell. They wouldn't do that at all, would they?
Sonic, come back. To me. To us.
What the fuck?
I got rabies. Get off our map, biatch.
I don't know what's creepier, the fact that she made out with an animal or a corpse.
Sonic then decides to share his super form with Silver and Shadow. Why does he do this and not any other characters like Knuckles, or Tails, or Amy? Well, the reason why is because Sonic knows the second mandate that only male hedgehogs can become super. And yeah, that was apparently a real mandate. That's still super stupid, but whatever. I don't think I have anything else to say other than that Sonic short. It's fucking weird. They cut the Sonic's original girlfriend in the game for a reason. Why they make him make out with some random human princess? It's so stupid. This is the only canonical relationship Sonic has in the video games. I am not joking. That is so dumb. But anyway, Sonic's super, and that's all that matters. All 3 of them go fly in the sky in order to defeat Solaris once and for all. Here's the final boss, Solaris, and it's okay. All 3 of the hedgehogs have unique abilities. And in order to defeat it, you gotta switch to Silver off the get-go. Isn't that lovely? So yeah, certain hedgehog attacks just won't do anything depending on what phase it's at, but you just gotta figure that out for yourself. You swap from each hedgehog by pressing the Y button, and each of them will start with 50 rings, so there's no losing rings in this, unlike Sonic Adventure 2 boss fight or any other ones, really. Silver grabs the things shot at him, and he throws them back, much like his other gameplay, so nothing new there. Sonic just chases after it, but he has to charge up a really fast one for it to do damage, which you need to do by pressing the RT button, and then it can attack Solaris there. And Shadow just uses Chaos Spear against it and just shoots at him. Pretty basic, there's not a whole lot to it. You just kind of swap between each one to see which one does damage, and if it doesn't, you swap to the other hedgehog. Once your hedgehog's running out of rings, you go to the next hedgehog. rinse and repeat over and over again until the guy is finally dead. But instead of that being the end, it changed into the Hylian shield logo from Legend of Zelda. Okay, and Phase 2 begins. It's pretty much the same as the first phase, slightly harder. But the music in the background is really cool. It's playing the instrumental version of His World. It'll be cool to actually have a vocal track like in the previous games, but okay, it's fine, alright? It's fine. So yeah, despite the form change, the boss fight is pretty much the same as it was in the last form. You're basically doing the same technique you did, swap between hedgehogs, do attacks, see which one hits and which one doesn't, and that's pretty much it. I kind of wish that Solaris had Mephila's personality still and could taunt you, but whatever, it's fine, I guess. Anyway, they finally defeat Solaris and it explodes and everyone cheers in their weird pre-rendered glory. Like, there's like 3 different types of pre-renders in this game. Like, they all look different, and I don't know why that is. Anyway, all of a sudden, time and space combine itself into one singular flame. Oh, we finally get the backstory of Solaris and Elise and her dad. Oh, I don't know why it took them this long to do it. But yeah, we actually get context of why he was even fucking with it in the first place. You see that Solaris has a power to change time, and he wants to use it to revive her mom. And yeah, that makes sense, but that would have been better to establish that, a little earlier, not the fucking end of the game. Yeah, the king's just a fucking jackass. Why do he do the experiments in his own fucking basement that was dark and easily get into? I don't get that at all, but whatever. So yeah, somehow Sonic and Elise get to this point in time where the flame is able to get blown out before it can cause any damage as Mephiles or anything like that. And she gets sad because she realizes that if it's blown out, that the timeline would be changed, that Sonic will never met her. And, okay, well, if she also blows it out, that means that her dad would come back to life too, so that makes sense, right? He wouldn't have died. But she cares more about, I guess she didn't care about her dad to begin with, she never cried over his death. But she cares more about Sonic than her dad. Just keep that in mind, in case you're wondering.
To tell the truth, I don't care what happens to the world.
Sonic doesn't really care about this relationship at all. In fact, I think he thought it was creepy that this woman kissed him. So he's like, just smile, bitch. And she blows out the flame and they'll never meet. Which means that this game never happened. And yes, canonically, the game has never happened. They even mentioned this fact in the new Sonic game, where Shadow meets Mephiles again and doesn't remember him. But anyway, we get the opening cutscene of all the dancers and this flame festival is happening, and I guess her dad isn't there, even though he technically would be unless he died of a heart attack off screen in between the time she was in childhood and stuff like that. She no longer has a giant flame monster inside her, and Soliana is celebrating, and all is good. Sonic runs by because I guess he wants to see the firework display, because why not? It looks cool to him. And then Elise is like, oh my god, I think I feel a presence that make familiar, oh my god. And then the one girl's like, well, that's stupid. And she's like, well, I guess it is, but I feel like I'll meet this guy again. Spoiler alert, she won't. And the game has the same ending as Forrest Gump, with a character watching a feather fly up into the sky, showcasing the moon is not half gone. Where's the other half? It's supposed to be destroyed! Oh well. That's Sonic 06. Yeah, this thing has a lot of problems. Sonic's relationship with Elise is not very good or well established. I mean, they try to, but fail miserably. So this, melancholy thing just does not work at all. And the fact that she wants to destroy the world instead of saving Sonic for a split second seems really out of character. But oh well, that's Sonic 06. A messy as hell story, but I had a lot of fun playing the game. However, that's not the only thing to talk about Sonic 06. There's some side missions and stuff that I haven't talked about yet, which we're going to talk about right now. Throughout the hub world, you'll find these town missions where you talk to a person with a blue exclamation mark above their head, and they'll give you a task. Most of these just give you little bonus points, and they're pretty much unnecessary, unless you want Sonic's extra gems, which you basically might need to do it for those. We'll talk about gems a little later. One of them is finding Pele, the beloved dog, which is a realistic dog that Sonic has to bring over to its owner. Most of these missions aren't really noteworthy. I was going to talk about each one. I did actually complete all of them for this game, but I'm only going to talk about the ones that are even noteworthy. So one of them is Pele the beloved dog, because, it's Pele! He's the beloved dog of this kid! And Sonic returns Pele, the beloved dog, back to his owner. I don't know why the Pele the beloved dog cracks me up. It's a little fucking dog. Look at it. Look at the dog. Look at the doggy. Another town mission is the Soliana Boys, where you gotta find these 6 little bratty kids and their hide-and-seek game, but they're not really hiding, they're just kind of just running around. You gotta tag them. This minigame sucks. It does remind me of Legend of Zelda, the stupid little bratty kids, and though that in Majora's Mask and Wind Waker, which had a very similar... Why do both those games have that same thing where you try to catch little bratty kids? Oh well. There's one where you have to chase the fleeing car against it's a criminal, and you gotta spin dash into it. It's really unintuitive, because you don't use the spin and dash most of the game, but this is the one time you actually pretty much have to use it. This minigame sucks by mentioning it right now. This next mission is definitely the most iconic one in the game. This is versus Sonic Man. Sonic Man is a guy who claims he's the real Sonic, even though he's a man. His name is Sonic Man. And if you couldn't guess, he runs slow because he's a human and he's not as fast as Sonic. And I don't know why, that's just really funny. This guy wearing his blue helmet and his Sonic shirt. People love Sonic Man. He's a fan favorite character despite him only appearing in this one mission. Well, he actually appears in our mission, I think in either Silver or Shadow storyline. We'll get to that really soon, I guess. One of the dumber challenges is Aristo's challenge. Aristo, for some reason, wants you to memorize boxes. Aristo's a fucking little bitch, by the way. He's fucking, like, full of himself. Thinks that counting boxes is the height of life. Spoiler, Aristo, it isn't. Fuck you. One of the strangest Silver missions is the Soliana Apple Festival, where you gotta pick up a bunch of apples and put them in barrels, but it's not even clear if you're even doing it, because the apples just don't want to go in the barrels. Like, this minigame was baffling. You just put apples in barrels, and that's pretty much it. We kind of just wait. You just put a bunch of these apples in the barrels, and then you just wait for the timer to run out. Yeah, that's it. The Apple Festival. Silver's missions aren't that interesting, other than the fact that Sonic Man returns. Yeah, Sonic Man. Of course, you got to race Sonic Man, even though Silver's not as fast as Sonic, but you know, Sonic Man's just still a human, so even Silver can outrun him. For some reason, Shadow's missions are fucking bullshit. We got Alfano, I think this name, or Alfonso, this fat fucker who wants you to do math. I'm not joking. This guy, his whole test is, do math for me, Shadow. Like, Shadow's better things to do than this guy's fat-ass fucking homework. What a loser. The worst thing about this one is it goes on forever. It's long as shit, and there's loading screens for each of these stupid fucking questions. Fuck this fat motherfucker. Oh, and there's a mission where you have to drive this fucking car in order to and you have to shoot other cars with it, and it's a nightmare. Anything that has to do with the Shadows RC cars sucks, and that's pretty much all the town missions that are noteworthy. Most of them just go through rings, attack enemies, and so on and so forth. Nothing too noteworthy to talk about here with the town missions. Near the end of the game, Sonic has gems they can equip, and they're basically all broken. The most infamous one is the purple gem, which makes Sonic mini, and you can just jump forever. There's a lot of other weird gems there, but they're not really worth mentioning, to be honest. There's a blue one which I think is pretty useful, where it allows Sonic to do a boost, pre-boost game, as well as a one that just shoots him up in the sky, and you can do a tornado attack, and other stuff like that. This one here is basically showcases how broken they are, and that's pretty much all I gotta say about Sonic 06, really. It's a pretty beat game, it all comes down to it. The gameplay has jank to it. There are some levels that just don't work that well, especially the Silver's ball puzzle, and you get hit a lot, and the story is a hot mess. But I still end up enjoying myself most of the time. I didn't have any anger issues or anything like that going from place to place. The only time I can say that is with the town missions. It's supposed to be because the load screens are so infamously bad there. For the most part, I enjoyed my experience. The story, as worse, is just cheesily bad, which I can enjoy. And the gameplay I found fun. I don't know what to say. I found the gameplay fun. It's Sonic Adventure 3, essentially. Just, unpolished a little bit. But what if the game was polished? What would people think about it then? Well, someone did that. One man named Chaos X decided to remake Sonic 06 from the ground up using the same level design, giving it a new code of life, better animation, improved physics to match the adventure games, and it is one of the best playing Sonic games of all time. If you've seen any Sonic fan talk about this game, you know how much they love this game. This game is incredible. The fact that I was able to take a game that had so many flaws and actually able to polish it out, making every character fun, making mechanics that are so great, making it very speedrunnable, adding a bunch of hidden goodies and secrets, re-adding dialogue into the gameplay, adding other movements that were in previous games that weren't in the Sonic 06, is fantastic. It is so polished. It feels like it's actually official release. That's how good it is. And I do not... People say, oh, Sega, hire this man. But no, seriously, Sega. Hire this man and get him to finish Sonic 06 so you actually have the finished version of the game. So people actually can play it for the first time in a finished state that was meant to be back in 2006. The game has amazing weather effects. It adds supersonic. It has fixed gems. They actually work nowadays. The combat is improved, so it's not as button mashy. There's so much flow and momentum to the game. It is fantastic. And this game is not even done yet. It has all the main levels, but it doesn't have all the boss fights or the final story. And I don't think they're going to do the hub worlds. But I don't say they. It's only one guy. This is made by one man. Seriously, Sega, hire this dude. This is fantastic. I honestly can say that if you haven't played Sonic 06, then just play P06, especially since You know, you can only play it on the Xbox 360 and PS3, and the PS3 version does not run as well. This game, as long as your computer is good enough to run it, you can play one of the best Sonic experiences. And yes, it was made by one dude. I mean, look at Silver. This guy can actually move fast now. Like, holy shit. And yes, this game is super fun. The level design is the exact same thing, other than the fact the ball puzzle was changed to make it actually work. But other than that, everything else remains exactly the same. Just the characters now move way better, and it's just much more to do now. Because of that, actually. You can explore the levels better. You can actually do things they were meant to do in the original game that sometimes you can't. And I don't know, PO6 is so special. It's so polished. It's so lovingly made. And even if they don't add any more updates, what we got now is just so great. They would love to add every aspect of Sonic 06 that's even possible. I actually like the hub world a little bit. They could be tweaked a little bit, but yeah, that would take a lot more. And the story has a lot of issues. Right now, the game it works now. If they don't add anything more past the boss fights, I'll be perfectly fine with this. Like I said, Sega, what are you doing? Seriously, this needs to be an official game. Like, it's already mostly made. Like, come on, you can literally release this now. This is like great. So yeah, it's free. Go play it. Sega does not have any restrictions on fan games, and seriously, this is the best way to play Sonic 06. Even though I do recommend playing the original game with the whole experience, since, like I said, PO6 is missing a couple things like the story, hub worlds, town missions, and all that other stuff. But if you want to play this game just in base, then here you go. It makes you really miss the adventure gameplay style, which I think is the best Sonic's ever played at. And this game actually might be the best he's ever played at, other than Adventure 2 and 1. But yeah, other than that, I do miss Adventure. I like the boost formula, but I miss this Adventure formula. In Sonic 06, this really makes you see what the original Adventure 3 was supposed to be, which is what Sonic 06 should have been named, by the way. It basically is Adventure 3, through and through. In fact, there's even 3 main playable characters. Like, come on, Sega. Come on. Anyway, yeah, PO6, free to download, and the best way to play Sonic 06. But anyway, let's get into anything else that Sonic 06 has to offer. Despite it being infamous when it first came out, Sonic 06 is actually a game that's gone up in value a little bit. Mostly the 360 version. It's not very expensive, but $23 complete is definitely more than a typical 360 game, which is worth like $2. So yeah, it's getting more a rare game to find out in the wild, but it's not too rare right now. It's okay, let's just say that. The PS3 version is much cheaper, however, keep in mind the PS3 version is also way worse. It has a lot more glitches and bugs, it just doesn't run as well as the 360 version, that's why everyone plays it on the 360, in case you're wondering. And the best version to play, Sonic 06, Project 06, is completely free. Yeah, you can just download it for free. It even has a Wikipedia page. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I can't believe this game actually has a Wikipedia page. The file ranking for the game is an A tier. I hate to say it, but I really enjoyed Sonic 06. It's one of those things I get it's a bad game, but the gameplay isn't bad. Once you get used to the controls, which didn't take me long to do it, I ended up having a joy playing for the game. It has a really weird story, and it has a lot of obvious problems, don't get me wrong, but personal experience, I enjoyed it. It's not nostalgia, like I said, I don't have any nostalgia for this game, other than people shitting on it, but it has good elements, and of course PO6 showcased how good the level design is, and the ideas that it actually had that worked, it elevates, and yeah, and it's one of the best Sonic games because of that, and yeah, I just don't get the absolute hate. I barely ran into any glitches. It's a little janky, but not as much as Sonic Heroes. And that game is considered universally good for the most part. And like I said, I do like Heroes. It's the first Sonic game I ever played, but it has a lot of flaws. And Sonic 06 also has a lot of flaws. And those flaws are obvious, but it doesn't mean that the rest of the game is complete dog shit. A lot of people will jump onto it saying, oh, it sucked, and someone else said it sucked. And I was like that too, but I played it and I ended up enjoying it for the most part. Like I said, if you don't like it still, that's fine, it makes sense. I mean, it's been the most hated games of all time. But does it deserve its awful reputation? Not really, no. Unless you just don't get into it, and I don't know what to say. This whole video, I made fun of it while also praising in certain elements, so there you go. Take it or leave it. Thanks for watching. I don't know when the next Sonic video will come. These come later and later as I have other things to do. I'm going to be next main game I'm going to be playing is the next Ratchet and Clank game because I plan on making a sequel to the video I did the first one. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I know this video is probably long as shit, but thank you for sticking around. I appreciate that. And goodbye.